The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
And I'm going to my shop and giving my black guy a raise because I got a good one. I'm sorry.
Are you walking
really
in?
dragging me
walking
down.
in today? And what's his first?
I'm throwing a
name?
$100 bill on him.
What's his first name?
He doesn't know his name.
You don't know.
It's JD. I don't know his.
Higher enough.
Say I got my
I'm
own.
gonna tell him too.
I got my own DEI.
What's this for? Because you're black.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We are live, or oof, man, do I sound rough in my headphones? Do I sound that rough?
No way.
Man, welcome. Monday, February 3rd. How many of you guys reached out to Seth on Saturday and wished him a happy birthday?
I didn't. I wished him a happy birthday on Friday.
I didn't know it was his birthday. We're not Anna.
Seth, was I only the... hold on, what would you say, Dan?
I said we're not Anna.
We're not Anna?
Who's like birthday guru.
Who's birthday Rain Man?
Yeah.
Anyway, happy birthday on Saturday to you, Seth. I almost forgot it was like 8 o'clock when I finally reached out to you.
Yeah,
happy birthday.
You got me right under the time limit, but I did I heard from Erica, and I thought that was like kind of from both of you. So it was nice that you ripped me off an HBD.
Thank you.
How old are you now?
I'm 52.
Jesus.
No, you're not.
I'm 43.
It's like 43.
Yeah.
I was going to say 42.
You look great for 53, but
yeah. Well, I was before when we were getting ready. When I was getting ready to do the show this morning, I was on the YouTube channel and it showed me the goat report, and it looked like, my Lord, the goat report. It looked like the goats were having Thanksgiving yesterday.
Oh yeah, and thank you to
you
everyone.
Brought celery and carrots and lettuce and.
Yeah,
my Lord, they're never going to eat. We don't have to worry about grass. Grass is so beneath them.
Well, that's their once a month little celebration, and we made over $100 on Super Chat. So thank you to the Keith Yeagers and the Xerxes.
I think you spent $100 in produce on them.
Well, it's their little special thing once a month.
You do. Is that something that you've done for a while now?
Yes.
Or
yeah,
okay.
It's like their special little treat.
Is it the first Saturday of every month you do their special little golden corral buffet gimmick?
Correct. Yeah.
Does the one men straight?
No, they're both boys.
They're both boys? I thought one was a girl.
Yeah.
No, he just looks like a girl.
He just acts like a girl?
Yeah, he just likes to,
Yeah, baby,
Yeah.
the one with the horns is a little bitch.
Yeah.
He does act like a girl, does he not?
Yeah, the way he prances. I totally
Prances.
He's a little petite little.
But when they pee, when they both,
so he's like a 40-year-old guy that's really thin.
when they pee, they still kick their leg up like they don't squat. Isn't that amazing? Like female dogs, they squat, whereas male dogs lift their leg up. I mean, like,
it's mind blowing.
Yes.
Like how does nature let them know what they're supposed to do?
Right.
Well,
when they squat, once they have a big penis, they just pee all over themselves. So that's why I have to lift.
Oh, so that's why boy dogs lift their legs.
Mm-hmm. And some boy dogs that have never grown up around boy dogs and just around girl dogs squat until they're old. Then they see it. They have to see it. They don't know ahead of time. Someone shows them. It's like, hey, you remember when your friends taught you how to masturbate? Like the fellow
we
dogs.
talked about that on Friday.
Oh, really? The fellow dogs, show them how to.
By the way, who taught you how to masturbate?
I taught myself.
Well, I mean, no, you probably didn't. I mean, did you?
I did. It's just a self-discovery.
You didn't have like I had an older friend.
I
My
had a
friend
creepy
Larry
older
Plummer.
friend that showed me how to like.
No, I didn't. I had an older friend in Larry Plummer, and then his friend across the street that he grew up with, Tom Johnston or something. He was like 2 years older than Larry. So, when Larry was out playing with Tom Johnston, I've told the story, told Larry about it, and then Larry handed down the information to me. So and then Lummy kind of said he thought that's how it went with his masturbation discovery.
Yep.
And then I forgot what Seth had said, that he just kind of, I think maybe self-taught or something like that.
Self-taught?
Yeah, I thought some of the male on male coaching that you had might slightly have been a little bit gay. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I just figured things out on my own like the cavemen.
Yeah, but Dr. Dan, how old were you? 12?
I was in 7th
10,
grade.
11,
I remember
12.
this.
Yeah, I was in 6th,
I don't know
7th
how
grade.
old I was. I just know that I was in 7th grade. So whatever. So I think it was in 79.
Should be like 13,
So
14? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was
13?
kind of 13. Yeah. What were you, Lummy?
I think 12, 13.
12, 13?
Yeah.
Dan, you're saying you were 10?
10, 11 maybe.
Jeez.
No wonder you're so deep. No wonder you're so just whatever. I better be quiet. Such a sicko. Seth, how old were you?
15.
Oh, you
15?
were late. You were late.
Really?
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
When did you hit
I was
puberty?
13.
4.
I don't know that he has.
Like Lummy. So when's Wilbur going to shave?
It's Walker. It's Walker,
I know.
by the way.
It's just being funny.
So anyway, I have been completely news. I don't want to say we-totted. I mean, that's a screen name of a great person, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
We-totted.
Yes, it is.
But I've been news we-totted over the weekend just because I've been just dealing with this track. And yesterday I was 7 to 7 parking haulers and just unbelievably. I forgot yesterday was Sunday. I forgot. Actually, I thought I had 2 Saturdays.
Oh.
So at 7 a.m. we started opened the gates at 8, and there was like 40 big rigs in here that you have to get parked. They got to come see me, pay their $100 parking slab fee, then give them a map as to how to navigate through the pits, then radio ahead of Eldora Rob to where this particular hauler what space he needs to go into, and then they all want to park by their buddy. And so you're trying to navigate all that. And then Merch Creek had to deal with all the campers. So from 7 until I didn't go to bed till 8. I took my shower at like 7:30, but I did like a 13-hour day yesterday. And then about 6 o'clock last night, I told Merch Creek, I'm like, oh my God, tomorrow is Monday, and I'm gonna have to do a show from the RV. So we had to set up this. Well, I got a hell of a woman. She actually set all this stuff up for me. Can you believe it? For me to go live.
It looks great, Bubba. Actually, it looks good.
Well,
How did it feel not having to shoot back to Tampa?
What's that, bud?
How did it feel not having to shoot back to Tampa for first thing in the morning? Like you could actually, relax and take your time and just go to bed.
I like it. I like it, but I don't like it. Like I like it because and you guys have made it seamless and it looks good. But I still like the feel of, being in the studio. I do. I really do. So this week, I'm actually going to try to make it back more than doing shows from here. No matter what time I make it back, I'm going to try to make it back maybe I don't know, at least Thursday and Friday, but maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, just because I'm out of my element, and I think that it looks good, and I think that it's seamless in how we have it engineered, and thank you to everybody for that, but it's still,
We received word, Bubba, that you might not be back until February 17th.
No, that's not going to be.
That's not true?
Plus, we got to do laundry and all, we don't get, and all that kind of deal.
They got laundromats in Ocala, don't they?
Yeah, but
I'm sure they got one or two.
I mean, at night, it's an hour and 15-minute drive at night. It's worth an hour and 15-minute drive not to have to go to a public laundromat. I mean, would you not at least agree to that?
Yes.
When's the last time that any of us went to a public laundromat? And that's the absolute dredge of society.
I used to meet a guy. I used to buy weed from a guy that would meet
At
me
a laundromat.
Yeah, but to actual do laundry, I think it was like 22 maybe.
Right, exactly.
Something has to
Dan wins-
break. Something broke, I think, once. I think I went there like 8 years ago or 10 years ago because something broke. Like the
because
washing
you're-
machine broke for a day, and like I had to
Right.
get something done. It was disgusting.
Took a day to get that $1,300 washing machine for Lowe's delivered. So you had to go to whatever.
So
Like
it's the
laundromat,
humanity there, though. I mean, it's
But I gotta
worse
be
than the
honest with you.
subway.
That's Seth. That's ingenious for a weed dealer. Meet me at the laundromat because, like that. That's actually smart, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's much worse crimes going on in the laundromat than a friendly weed exchange. But I'm very happy that I get to go to the store now and get it, and I don't have to do that anymore.
But laundromats supposedly make money, like they bank.
Oh,
I know
Oh,
guys
really?
that own.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. They said if you can buy a laundromat in the ghetto, buy one.
Yes.
Well, can
That's
you?
what Dan.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I think all the white entrepreneurs have gone and bought all the laundromats in the ghetto, so I don't even think they're for sale.
And they're all being replaced by Woody's.
By who?
Woody's, the car wash place. There's like 3 of them on Gandy.
Yo, hold on. Do Woody's? Is that a car wash or is that a laundromat?
That's car wash.
Car wash.
They
Yeah, we're
follow
talking
Wawas.
about laundromats.
So Woody's, this whole thing is they follow the Wawas.
Oh, is that what they're looking for? Is Wawa?
Yeah, because Wawa doesn't have a. Because I met the owner of the guy around here.
Oh, because Wawas don't have
a car wash.
the car wash.
So if they put a car wash where a Wawa goes, you'll find a Woody very close because they always think everyone's going to go to Wawa and they're going to want a car wash right after.
That's Wawa is really making
That's
a
what it
big
is.
mistake in the fact that they should within their business model change it up a little bit and add, because you know what, I love that when you're at a gas station and it's not whether their car wash is like a touchless one or those really hard bristles that are really bad for your paint, but like I like going to the car wash after I filled my tank up if it's a good car wash.
Really?
I like that.
The quickie non-toucher goes through, takes about a minute. That one?
That
type?
that one I kind of like that. Now, Dan, you don't go to car washes for yours?
No, God, no.
He has an own guy that comes over to his house.
I got Dumber. Although Dumb is coming back to town. Woohoo!
Hold on now.
I'm so excited.
When Dan speaks about Dumb and Dumber, he had 2 dudes that is kind of his handyman, from doing things around the house to making sure all of his fleet of Lamborghinis and Ferraris are cleaned, and they were affectionately known as Dumb and Dumber.
We try to keep them out of the the but yes.
Well, yeah, they're
they work
outside,
around the house, not like in
outside,
the house.
like
outdoor dogs.
mulching projects, and
taking off the
edging
rust.
project. You could have really used. So one of them's still here.
Yes,
and then one of them went to Georgia and went to jail. Right?
Yes, he was in a 4-county slow-speed chase after violating a restraining order on his wife.
That was the smarter of the 2, right?
Yes,
Or the more
freaking Einstein of the 2.
Right.
It's
and
like
he's been
Elon
in jail
Musk.
now. He's been in jail now. How long?
No, he's been out of jail, but he's been on probation, so he couldn't leave the state of Georgia. So,
okay.
But he got that all cleared up, and he is coming back down in the next couple of weeks. Thank God.
Now, will he start working for you again?
Oh yeah.
Or does he work for the entire family? Like Jay has him do some stuff, Steve has him do some stuff. Is he like on General Diaco payroll?
Yes, Jay's kicked him out of his property before because he's he sometimes drinks a little bit and then he takes his shirt off, and taking his shirt off isn't really a visual.
Now hold on.
Festival.
Hold on. So you're saying that Dumb? Now is this Dumber or Dumb?
Dumber is good looking and thin and in shape. He's just so stupid.
Really?
And horrible at washing cars.
Okay, so you know what I'm touching
50% of the time.
All right, so Dumb is that guy?
No, that's Dumber. Dumber is beautiful. He's a handsome guy.
Like a Jimmy Cleavis kind of dude?
Yeah, but thinner. His brother is like a Jimmy Cleavis at 6'3", like a freaking stud. His sister was really pretty, and he got none of it. None of the brains, at least. I mean, they got, he got some looks, but he has literally how people say they use 10% of his brain? He only got 10% of his brain.
So, and of which,
He uses 2 of them.
He might have 1% brain capacity.
Oh, dude, it's tough.
Is there something wrong with a man taking his shirt off while he does work outside?
No, that's dumb. No, there's nothing wrong with him except that he's 5'6" and weighs about 300 pounds. So when he does shirtless cartwheels,
Jay feels like that's lowering his property value by the second.
Oh yeah, he literally thinks it affects his property value.
That's taking my house down 5%. Get the hell out of here.
He's agile, but he's agile like Sap was. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Who's been washing your vehicles,
me or Dumber?
Oh, you will.
I'll do it myself rather than have Dumber do it sometimes. Yeah, because, like the Ferrari, the Testarossa, the paint's as soft as butter. So if you rub it too hard, you scratch it.
Right. So what's your fleet currently? The Miami Vice Lamborghini, right?
The Miami Vice Testarossa.
I'm sorry. The Miami Vice Testarossa, and then you got the
Lambo Storado,
the Lambo Storado, and then the Cybertruck,
right?
Escalade. And the Romina has the badass Escalade,
right? And then
is that it?
And I got the Jag SUV, the little Jag SUV.
Oh, you got that too?
Yeah, Dad's old Jag.
Dan, don't you think you're a little heavy on the cars?
No, I'm trying to.
Okay,
The Testarossa is for sale.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Didn't you buy it right though, where you actually might be like your brother Jay and be able to turn a little profit on this gimmick?
It's a '91 black Testarossa with only 7,000 miles on it. It's actually a special car. But I got too many.
I'm monitoring PayPal. I'm sure you're monitoring Venmo and Cash App. So it's all at the Bubba Army. It is Monday, February 3rd. I was getting back to the fact that I did not watch 1 ounce of news at all this weekend. The only thing that was coming across my phone was this big Luka Dallas Mavericks / Lakers trade. I thought we'd get into that here a little bit later. And then this big Philadelphia, it wasn't a big plane. Are they saying now it was a smaller plane?
I think it was a small Lear. It was a small Lear jet with the twin with the two engines way in the back on the tail.
It was like a medical transport flight, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now, oddly enough, speaking about medical transport, one of Jay's, and I don't think I can talk too much about this other than what was in the newspaper or in the news, but one of the Diacos, one of their biggest settlements, or I would say most high-profile cases, other than defending me versus MJ, was I think that Bayflight helicopter accident that happened at the Gandhi radio towers.
Yep.
Dan, you might be able to help me with that a little bit based on what we can publicly talk about.
They were flying,
that was a medical deal.
Yeah, they were flying through a tower farm, and lo and behold, they hit one of the guy wires, and the helicopter went down, and everyone died.
Seth, you know on Gandhi the two radio got I think it's the old I think it was the old AM 620 and 98.7 tower. Right there at the Gandhi Beach.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's an eyesore.
Yeah.
One of the many.
They were Bayflight. It was Bayflight, right, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to St. Pete Bayfront?
I don't know if they were on a mission or training. I think they were just training that day.
That's right, because they didn't have a patient, right?
I don't think they had a patient.
It was just the crew. And the helicopter hit the guide wire. And I think was there 3 souls on board, Dan, or 2?
3. I think a pilot, co-pilot, and the nurse.
And Jay represented, was it the families of the 3?
The nurse.
Oh, the nurse.
It was one of his best friend's mom.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was a really dear friend of ours' mom.
Wow.
It was sad. Horrible. And she was a stud, too. She was a flight nurse. She was, that's as hardcore as you get when you're a nurse.
Well, not only are you nursing, but you're nursing while you're on a helicopter.
And you're not just nursing. You're nursing like really, really sick people that need to be helicopter transported. Yeah. You're not nursing guys with a cold.
You're not nursing a guy that needs 2 stitches on his right finger because he cut himself. Whatever. You're nursing because people
on ECMO.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that bad. It's that bad.
They only put you in a helicopter for medical reasons when something's real bad.
Yeah.
They bring in Bayflight because the 15 or 20 minutes that they save transporting you to the hospital from traffic versus air can make the difference of you dying or living.
Absolutely.
Right,
Definitely. Yes, you're 100% right.
Now, who makes that call, Dan? Like when police officers and all that are on the scene, is it the EMTs and the medics that make the call? We need Bayflight.
No, the cop makes the call.
Oh,
he'll call Bayflight. He'll make that decision early on. Sometimes the paramedics will make it after they're there. But, when, like, for instance, a classic example would be an interstate crash where you're, 5 miles between exits. And so getting, Baycare there or Bayflight there would be way faster than waiting on an ambulance, especially if something's critical. And so I remember one time I was driving home or driving across the turnpike across the state, and it was Christmas afternoon and it was raining. And in front of me about like a quarter mile, I just see like stuff flying in the air and then a big dust ball. And then all of a sudden all the traffic stops. And it was one of those, Bubba, these, the car comes across, like it's like the equivalent of I-4, where the car comes across and does a head-on.
Oh, yeah, it comes across the median.
Did a head-on right in front of me and exploded 2 cars. And I was maybe, like 10th car in line, and immediately stopped, immediately got out, was doing CPR on these people.
You're out there doctoring?
Oh, it was muddy and cold and wet and raining, and it was Christmas Day, and I saw an SUV that was about 8 inches off the ground because the whole suspension had collapsed inside of the car. Because it flew through the air, like it came up, it rotated as it flipped in the air, and it did like a windshield to windshield, and then kept its 360 rotation, and then landed on the ground in the woods, and it was like literally like the body of the car was on the ground. And I did CPR on that lady for 12 minutes, and then the helicopter showed up. 2 helicopters showed up, pulling everyone out, but my lady was dead. She didn't survive. And the kid was like, mommy, don't let mommy die. I'm like, oh
my God.
This is Christmas freaking Day. The car was filled with gifts. It was so sad.
Now, how you were probably first on the scene. How long did it take, police or anything like that? How long were you solo?
There was a nurse there too that helped, and they were helping with the other victim, and another EMT showed up that was off duty, and it's amazing. They had those little oral respirators, which was helpful because I didn't have to do mouth to mouth. I could just do chest compressions. I think the cops were there in probably 3 or 4 minutes. The helicopter was there within 12 minutes. I mean,
but aren't they saying aren't they deterring people now from doing mouth to mouth?
Yes, it's passe now. They're just saying do the chest compression. Make sure
do the chest compression.
Make sure it's clear though. Make sure the airway is clear. Make sure there's not something stuck in there.
Tilt the head back.
Yeah,
right. Kind of tilt the head back. And then if you really do CPR the right way, it's barbaric, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's violent.
If you were to do it the right way, they say sometimes medics that do it the right way will break a rib.
Often medics that do it the right way break a rib.
Right.
Often.
Now, is that the only way to get now? What's the science, Dan, on CPR and getting the heart back? Is it just that you're pushing on the heart? Like, what's the science of CPR, and how does it work? Like, as far as
good question.
You go from a heart that's not beating to getting it beating just by pushing on it.
What you're trying to do with CPR is you're not necessarily trying to get the heart to go back into a normal rhythm. What you're trying to do is move the blood. If the blood doesn't move, then the poison in your brain builds up really fast.
Okay.
So you're trying to move the blood, and fortunately,
so you're trying to kind of manually pump your heart.
You're trying to manually pump the blood through the vessels so that the waste from your brain specifically is getting washed away.
Right.
And because the heart's got valves in it, when you squeeze it, the blood goes in only one direction, and then when you relax, the blood that fills the heart again. And so you have to push hard enough to get through the ribs, through the sternum, and a heart that doesn't have anything really behind it. It's just in the middle of nowhere. And you have to push so hard that you're actually getting that heart to squeeze. It takes a lot of pressure. And you got to do it like 150 times a minute.
Right. Like, I mean, they're like, most people don't do it fast enough. The Bee Gees song.
Staying alive, staying alive, bump, 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 staying alive, bump, bump, bump. It's that fast. Which is way faster. They say to do it to that. They say to do it to that song.
What if some poor fella doesn't need to? I mean, what if you get a guy like Seth that wasn't a big disco guy?
He knows the song,
and he doesn't know the Bee Gees.
They all know it.
Can he do it to Pumped Up Kicks?
Oh, he does the pumped up kicks. Guy dies. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks. You're dead, dude.
Oh, hold on. I know it. We can do it to Imagine Dragons. What's up?
All right, listen, man. I can do it to the Bee
Sorry,
Gees.
Seth.
I know that song just fine.
Do you, Seth?
Yeah, okay. You don't have to start running through Alter Bridge and
Dance,
Creed
dance.
and Nickelback, okay? I can
Do it the
handle
rock
this
star
one.
by Nickelback?
I'm good.
We're not sitting here trying to make Seth and his alternative music, love of alternative music, make it look like he can't save a life. Seth can save a life.
Yeah.
Just pick a fast song, Seth.
Yeah.
How about, what was that, the remake, Billie Jean? No.
Smooth Criminal by Alien Ant Farm.
Man, that's fast, too.
You get that guy arrhythmia.
Man, Seth will get a guy going in about a minute with that song.
I'll go to a...
Seth would be out of breath in a minute.
Yeah.
Dan, could you just get me a list of songs that I could do in place of the Bee Gees, just in case I ever need to
Seth
save
wants to
somebody's
put it
life?
in his
Yeah.
iTunes account so he can pipe it through his headphones and he can save a life.
Don't do the sound of silence.
The sound of silence.
Oh,
So you're
man.
going to get the end.
Yeah, that's that.
Silence leaves silence.
So this Philadelphia plane, was there a passenger? Was there a sick or it's a
Yes.
medical
Child.
There's
saying.
a child, a Mexican child, and her parent, I
That
think.
just had her life saved.
Neil
So
Mal puts
hold
here
on.
$20. Seth Lifesaver.
Thank you very much. Let me. I'd like to get our first PayPal gimmick just to see that our PayPal gimmick is working at the Bubba Army PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. I will tell you, Lummy, because of the Bubba 199 during BARP, we had a pretty good January.
Oh, nice.
And then I don't know if you guys knew or not, but this Facebook reel that Rhett and Cantrell came up with on Facebook, I think we were just starting to get a little taste of it on Friday, but it ended up doing 56 million views.
Nice.
I mean, I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, the reel. Yes.
56 million?
And
Or
now-
1,000?
No, Dan. 56 million views. And it was just, it was a 48-second clip that Gary and Rhett whittled down and just made it a reel. So what we'll do is we'll take certain portions of the show. The guys will make them into clips, and we'll post them on X and TikTok and Insta and Facebook reels and things like that. That's just how kind of the template of being a creative, digital creator is. We have, of course, you can watch the show long form and watch the entire show. That's like 3 hours and 2 minutes long or sort, after commercials. But we take clips, just random clips. And with the Super Bowl coming up here on Sunday, Rhett and Gary decided, hey, let's do a Super Bowl clip. And it was just literally Seth and I talking about how Fox is going to charge. We think it's reported that Fox is going to charge about, $8 million for a 30-second, commercial. We were just bantering back and forth. That's it. It's not really funny. It's not really anything spectacular, but we hit a lightning of an algorithm. I don't know if we hashtagged it right. We just got lucky. And so it hit on Friday, and I was on the track working Friday. We were doing at one time this video, and it's on our Facebook page under Reels, and it's a little bit down now. But on Friday when it really hit, it was doing 100,000 views a minute.
Whew,
and it was unbelievable. And it kind of settled in at 50. I think it's 56.9.
Yeah, that's
right
what
now.
it is. Yeah.
56,900,000. So
That'll help all your other numbers.
Well, I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, I was looking at.
Is that your biggest so far?
Oh my God. But I mean, the all-time now, these are, you got to look at the genre that you're in. And this particular forum is Facebook Reels. Now they have, obviously YouTube, and you have X, and you have Insta. So those different forums have different records and things like that. But I think the all-time view record on the Reel platform is 199 million from Mr. Beast. I looked it up. And then there's another, I don't know, but they listed as the number 4 reel of all time, some kind of gardening thing or something like that at 80 million. So if our stupid
You could cut a
gimmick-
top fiver.
maybe a top 10. That reel might be a top 10 reel view of all time in the entire real world.
Wow. He's like a Bellator champion.
But you can't even put your thumb on what was good about it. I mean, other than it was just me and Seth talking for 48 seconds.
Yes, you can, Bubba. It was pop culture content that people are interested in. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's the biggest TV event of the year, I believe. So I mean, it
was unbelievable.
It's not like we were jerking each other off about how cold it was last night. We were doing stuff that people all over the world and country want to hear about.
All right, well, can we try the jerk you off because it's too cold when it gets colder again?
Yeah, no, I'm just
we never know.
Perfect.
Whatever works.
Hashtag cold jerk off.
I mean,
winter solstice or whatever it's called.
Summer solstice or there's a winter solstice.
Whatever, winter solstice. But Lummy, I think we're gonna end up hitting probably 60 million on that. And so then I Googled like what determines what you're viral or not, and they said within the real world, real WR, not WREAL, but W. I'm sorry.
All right, Macho.
$10.
Where's the dump button, guys? Just so I know, so I can make Bubba sound good.
Not REAL, but REEL.
No.
The real within Facebook. The reels within Facebook. To go viral is considered 3 to 5 million views within a week period. Well, my Lord. We certainly went viral with this, and I can't explain it, but it was fun to watch and track.
Can we watch
that was kind of my Friday mission. Is I would I was on the grader actually, sheep's foot in the track, and I would every lap takes about a minute, so I would refresh the inside back report every lap. Every time I got to the flag stand, I would refresh it. And we were doing, it would be like 41,150,000 for the first lap, and then the next time I would go about it'd be like 41,300,000 in just one lap.
Wow.
And so thank you to everybody. I went into the back end and looked at more statistics, and guess what? USA was the number 1 country. Bangladesh was number 3.
Oh yeah,
I don't.
A lot of American click farms there, Bubba.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, they traffic them there. It's not all sex trafficking. Sometimes it's click farm trafficking.
Oh, we got. I think we got a solid click farm that went wild on us, and
Can we watch it?
Well,
Are we gonna get copyright if we watch it?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, I guess we could probably watch it.
I'm curious to see it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me. Well, I can pull it up right here.
I'm not trying to make it difficult for you. I'm sorry.
Well, you are. But I think our capabilities here with Macho's engineering and Rhett, all these things I think I can play this stuff here. Let me see. I'm pulling it up. You guys can probably see. All right. There we go. Jake Paul. Boom. It's right on down there. There's Selena Gomez.
Do I need to do something over here? I don't have it on.
No, you should.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm not watching the YouTube feed anyway. So
Yeah, you should be fine.
Let me see here.
As long as he slides it over to his right window.
Yeah. Okay, right here it is. Now, hold on. I can't slide it. I mean, I don't have a... This is it right here. Let me see. All right, you guys got it? Is it coming your way?
I don't hear it. Am I supposed to... Is there some audio that I'm supposed to turn up over? I didn't get...
Probably the internet... Oh, here we go.
Internet?
I don't know how did we place... I got the story right here, and I'm ready to hit it.
Well, Macho was running the board on Friday the last time, so I don't know.
Seth, do you see it on another monitor up there?
No, I don't. No.
I think
I have Meet the First Actor with Down Syndrome to star in an action movie.
Yeah, I see that one.
You see that one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so...
Maybe we take a break.
Macho's talking to the internet guy.
Yeah, I heard that we really are having issues again.
Par for the course, brother. I mean, at this point, are we even surprised?
Good old Spectrum.
I think, Rhett, I think that you and Macho probably need to come to work every day knowing that it's going to be a shiz show.
Yeah, I'm expecting this room to not even be attached to the building tomorrow when I get here.
The rats might chew it right out of existence.
Oh, jeez.
Be broadcasting out of one of the trailers out back.
Yeah, I mean, thank God we have a trailer out back, though. I mean, let's be. Oh, here it is. So I got it. So if I pull it up, but I don't know.
I could probably do it this way, Seth. If you want, I can send it to you right now.
See, now, Lummy, can you see my screen?
No,
can you
I
guys see
cannot.
my screen?
No.
You can't see my screen.
Seth, do you see my...
How are you guys... Hold on. Lummy, how are you guys able to see my screen and me fire and play things the last time we did this?
Macho was doing it up at the board, and he's, busy. So
All right. So
mean,
we
Seth
need...
might be able to do it now.
Hold on. No, hold on. Let's take a break because I think eventually, in the perfect world, once Macho fixes the whatever issue we have, that I think Macho will come to the board and run the board, I think.
Yes.
Is that what we're looking for?
That was the plan.
But we need to get this. We got these problems that we have. Oh, Lummy, hold on. Mario Gonzalez, which I think is that Las Vegas, Mario?
Yes.
$20 on the PayPal.
And
So my
Neil
PayPal is
here, another 20 on the Venmo.
So my PayPal is working. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App.
Perfect.
All right. So listen, we're working on some stuff. One of which is getting Macho behind the board so I can fire off some stories.
I mean, I could do it if somebody would just let me know. I didn't get any direction this morning.
That's okay, bud.
To
No
run the
big deal.
show. I just
No big
Macho
deal.
Man just goes, "You could do the show," and I said, "Sure." And Lummy said I was just going to be, potting up the mics and everything. So I mean, I don't know where the dump button is. I don't know how to play your audio at all. I just didn't get a lot of instructions.
No big deal, bud. We'll get it handled, and we won't fire off stories until Macho can get back there because that's kind of the way it needs to be. And Macho's dealing with a fiber. I think we have a fiber issue. But let's just be more importantly, let's be thankful that we're on the air.
Yeah.
And
you sound good, Bubba. You do sound good.
Well, thank you, Dan. Yeah, before too long, Dan, you're gonna get all full of yourself and want to do the show from the carriage house in your underwear.
I'm all for that, man. One hand in my pants.
I think my guess is we're just gonna have to switch over the monitor that you're on.
Okay, bud.
Because I think your stories are there. I think they're just hiding behind a window that is on the other monitor.
Okay, perfect. Well, listen, we'll go to words here, and we'll be back, and we'll see if we can remedy this engineering issue, and go from there. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show. Back after these words.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
If he's playing audio, is it going to come up through his mic, or does it need...
That's why I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure because I didn't.
Okay.
He's on the wrong one.
What's up, Kenny Powers, Bert Perez, Yellow Office here.
Hey, much.
He's on the wrong
Jim,
one.
Londiva, CC Hall, good morning. Jeff Pearson. John's guard.
That's the. Is it on?
Jason, Jason.
Right there. What is that, by the way? Oh, okay. Bubba, go ahead and play a story so I can see where you are.
Are you there, buddy?
Yeah, go ahead and play a story.
All right, hold on here.
Oh, he's not connected.
Hey,
I think you're on your local computer. You're not connected to this computer.
Okay. Do that.
We need to open the splash top on Mac.
Okay, let me. Okay. You're right. So let me go.
Fuck you.
Master control. You're right.
Gene,
Now.
NC Surfer.
There you are. You see the guy on the Hollywood's Unlikely Hero?
Yeah. But then all
Dave
my
Rock,
stories
69.
are
Kenny Gene.
there. But I could probably. But now will these? Do I got to
Next
grab
level
these stories?
story.
Like, hold on. Let me see. Would I go like this
Yinzer.
and put it up?
You can probably copy and paste the URLs.
Blips.
Oh, each one though, right?
Yeah.
So I'll do like this, like that, and then copy, right?
I can't see what you're doing, but yeah, you gotta copy the URL, the address, and then paste it into this window.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Let me see that. All right, so copy, and then I go here, plus, and then I go
Enter.
Boom. And then, yep, there you go. Okay.
You can do Control-C for copy and Control-V for paste.
Okay, I'll just do it with a clicker.
I think it's Command on that one.
So,
Something like the big gun. TNT.
and
Go to Perez. And around
then that. And you look at
Black
that.
County.
All right,
T-shirt
and
will.
then I go to
Yes, sir.
this one. Boom. Boom. Copy. And go to that. Paste. Here. And then there's that. Okay. So I'm just going to have to do that during the hot mics and get it. So I know how to do it. So I'm good. At least I know how to do it now, bud.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in the back trying to help Spectrum. I'm in the back trying to help Spectrum, so I didn't see that you weren't on this one. Sorry.
I got it. Okay, bud?
All right, cool.
All right. So then if I fire it, it'll play now.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
The rat shoots through the fiber cable for Spectrum this morning.
Energy Zephyr. Harry Jasper.
Let's get some PayPal in here, buddy. Let's get some PayPal in here, buddy. Please. Thank you.
Okay, he's good. He was on his local machine.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
the stories come up on the internet.
Okay.
It's all because Dr. Dan couldn't give us a
It's
view
hot.
or a liking.
The audio is usually hot because some of the new stuff was so low.
That video.
Can I keep that up the whole time?
I know. You should, why don't you go on your own
Thanks.
Facebook and give us a view
Okay.
and a liking?
Spend the weekend on Facebook.
Give us a view and a liking. Okay, there we
See,
go.
it says it too on it.
Okay, I feel like an idiot.
See,
Thank
like,
you.
But see, like that's not. I don't think that'd work. That thing is only hooked up. You just say keyboard is old. I know. You're a man's man.
My man's man.
All right, looks like we're gonna get that 60 million views. Dr. Dan.
Oh my God, we're back.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
We got it figured out. We figured it out. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show. The crew is in the studios, conveniently in Tampa, Florida. I'm in my RV at my racetrack, Ocala Speedway in Ocala, Florida. I'll probably be here 2, maybe 3 days this week, and then maybe back in the studios Thursday, Friday. But at least for Monday, Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, I'll be for here. Now, one thing I'm going to do to make it look better, and you guys can tell me what you think, but I'm going to put behind me back here, I'm going to put, I got another one of these banners, and I'm going to put behind me, so I'm going to look like I'm in a little Bubba Army box. So behind me here, you won't see all the couch and what have you. You're just going to see Bubba Army logo. So I look like I'll be in a little box. Yeah, go ahead, bud.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, sorry. Okay. I don't know what happened. How come? Or I was gonna. Jeez, I don't know what happened. I threw myself off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, buddy. You spun yourself out. Just go and grab a gear and get back on course.
Are you guys doing races on?
Macho's running in there, Seth. He's not on program.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you guys running races on a Super Bowl Sunday?
No, but that's USAC practice.
So does that mean you have to be there?
Yep.
Oh man.
So I'll be watching it wasn't the most, it was the only night we could get USAC practice in because USAC races Volusia Monday, Tuesday, and then they start with us. I don't know. It just, yeah. Look at Macho Man.
I think we're gonna come up for USAC, but people kept telling me that Walker should have glasses, and it's very violent, what they throw around. Is that true?
Listen to me.
Yes.
when you're in the infield,
you're good.
They don't. Okay.
Yeah, no, it throws everything out.
It throws everything out. So he does not need any. all he needs is his ear protection.
Okay.
And I'll have my. Exactly. Listen,
Give a little fire suit for him.
We'll get fire suit, helmet, Hans device, gloves. We'll put him in a race seat with a 5-point harness.
Yeah. Go kart.
Hans device. Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
Or you know what? Let me. The safest might be just to go to Flow and to watch it on Flow. I mean, then he's at the house. I don't think a dirt clod can come through your TV, but I mean, you still might have him all geared up when he's watching.
Oh, I mean, listen,
but
we're
here's
going
the
to
thing.
go no matter what, but we just didn't want to.
Here's the deal. I'm going to take my pickup truck and I'm going to back it into coming out of turn 2, and we all get in the back of we step up into the back of my tailgate of my area. So that's where he will. Ear protection's all he needs. Don't have him come all geared up with anything other than his ear protection, okay?
Got it. Yes, sir.
Now, within his ear protection world, I might take some of those little swimmy deals that you put in the ears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know he's got the external ear protection, but I also would probably put, like, the little swimmy wedges in his ears, too.
Double up?
Okay, yeah, we have those.
Just double up. That's it.
Yeah, we have those.
Because it's extremely loud. It is. But, if you put the swimmy ear gimmicks in the canal and then with the exterior headphone gimmicks that he's got, he'll be perfect.
Okay.
So, and I would say any Saturday night, either this coming Saturday or next Saturday.
It needs to be next.
Okay, perfect. That's the USAC guys.
Yes.
That's even crazier.
Sweet.
So, during when we were on Hot Mic, Macho showed me what I was doing wrong. So all during commercials, I'm going to work on all the stories that Seth and Lummy sent me. I'm transfer them over to the splash top that I need to have, which allows me to launch stories from right here in my own RV. So but I have to copy and paste them from all the prep this morning, so it's going to be, I'm going to be busy during the breaks. Here is the video that we put up as a Facebook reel on, I think it might have been like Thursday at like 7 p.m. or something you put up. And this will have eclipsed about 60 million probably by the end of this week. And so here it is. Let's see. I'm going to fire it to see if it works, okay? All right, here we go. $1 million. And I'm assuming that's for a 30. At least 10 commercials to air during Super Bowl 59 on Fox have sold for $8 million, according to multiple reports.
That sounds cheap these days with all the extra rub you get from social media. And, God, people do full-on segment shows about the commercials. And
then all media like us go through the top commercials. Now, let me, are you guys seeing it?
Yes.
Okay. And people are visually seeing it as well?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Ready to go.
Commercials. And then there's like stories about the top commercials, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of, dissecting your top 5 commercials, but unfortunately it's just something that America loves to do.
It's become part of American fabric that a lot of people will watch the Super Bowl just for the commercial. Super Bowl spots could be going for. All right, so here we go. So, Kush, I got to think in your illustrious, and certainly in mine, like if it's mine, it's certainly got to be a record in yours, but I've never produced a piece of video that I was a part of, whether it be host or in your instance co-host, that did 60 million views on anything.
No, I haven't either.
It don't make no sense.
And this isn't, it's just me and Seth BSing. It's a great clip. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Rhett, for, doing this, because you never know when one of these things are going to hit. And I'm not going to get into the dollars and cents of it, but you guys would be astonished. And it helps the overall BRN, coffers, if you will. You wouldn't believe what this thing made.
That's why we play the game.
I know it's a dirty game, but you got to play the game. And, my God. Thank you, Rhett. Thank you, Gary, for just, having the tenacity of always making these reels and always making these Insta clips and always making these things, because you never know when something like this is going to happen. And congratulations to everybody I don't know, Lummy, I doubt that anybody in Tampa has ever, especially in media, But, maybe in the private sector, I don't know that anybody in Tampa has ever created a reel that did 60 million views.
No.
If 80 million is in fourth place, 60 million's got to be. This might be a top 10 reel of all time. And again, it's nothing. It's nothing spectacular. But when you hit that lightning in a bottle algorithm, you hit it. I'm going to play it again. It's so stupid.
Or $8 million. And I'm assuming that's for a 30. At least 10 commercials to air during Super Bowl 59 on Fox have sold for $8 million, according to multiple reports.
That sounds cheap these days with all the extra rub you get from social media. And, God, people do full-on segment shows about the commercials. And
then all media like us go through the top commercials. And then there's, stories about the top commercials, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of, dissecting your top 5 commercials, but unfortunately, it's just something that America loves to do.
It's become part of American fabric that a lot of people will watch the Super Bowl just for the commercial. Super Bowl
Gosh, you went viral, bitch.
It's unbelievable, Bubba.
Yeah, unbelievable. So I think was it last night was the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis?
It was Saturday night, but yeah.
Was it Saturday night?
Yeah.
In Indianapolis, which I think is where the Conseco Fieldhouse, or it's where the Fever and the Pacers play, I think.
I think this is where Lucas. I think this was
or the Colts play.
I thought it was Lucas.
Yeah, this was their football stadium.
Now that I'm looking at it, it is. This is where the Lucas Oil field where the Colts play.
Where you play? Where you went to watch the state championship game, right?
Yeah, where Warsaw got beat. In the state championship. Now, here's the thing. This one guy got sputted. Who's the guy? iSpeed? iShowSpeed. Now, he's the African-American guy, right?
Yes. I think he's been Streamer of the Year maybe 2 or 3 years in a row.
So, this guy is taking, and I'm not up to speed with all the wrestlers, but I know. Is that Rey Mysterio right there on the left-hand side for a tag in?
That is Rey Mysterio, yes.
Yeah, he was in the match.
Now, it looks like everybody's is kind of maybe thinking that this was a spud and this guy got really, really hurt. But again, the referee didn't do the X gimmick because that's what, and if you don't see the X gimmick from the referee or any of the support staff around the ring, then it's the guy's just selling the hell out of it.
Yeah, but you don't think he actually got hurt?
What's the X gimmick?
He's calling to the back.
Yeah,
for the medics.
The X gimmick is okay.
Is there a symbol?
Yes, it's X. Dan. It's like this.
Yeah, only the boys know it, Dan.
Oh, okay.
And it's right here.
And so here's the deal, Dan. When the X gimmick comes out, that means that this is not scripted. It shoot style. We need medics.
Someone's really hurt.
Now, a lot of times in professional wrestling, medics were part of the gimmick where they got the guys in the back, but the medics and the
Keystone
gurney,
Cop ambulance comes out and
the gurney and the whole 9 yards. That's part of the gimmick. But when you ever see the X, that's letting the gorilla position or Triple H or whoever's running the show. This is a shoot. This is not scripted. Send real help, not the Keystone Cops with the backup. Send real help.
The clown paramedics.
And so, since I didn't see the X gimmick on this, I just think this was a really, really stiff move and a good one. I mean, it looks great. And since they didn't do the X gimmick, it looks like it was as planned. It just looks like iSpeed or whatever the guy's name is really, really took a spud. Now, I think it got spudded. I think it was way harder than it was, supposed to be. And I think maybe the black guy may have gotten concussed, but everything was scripted, it wasn't off script and he wasn't really calling for help. But watch this. This is
your chin into your chest as you're going down, so your head doesn't slam, and his head slammed he looked like Tua.
It didn't look great in that angle. There's another angle of cell phone footage in the crowd. He didn't see it coming. He knew there was a chance he was going to get hit when he went out there.
He turned on one of the angles. I did see the spot called for him to turn last minute into it. So if you see it, the spot called from after the guy hit the second rope on the rebound when he was going to do the Goldberg like spear tackle gimmick, the Ice Speed's got to feed into it and be face to face. And Ice Speed he fed himself into the shot.
Right.
So he knew it was coming. He just didn't. I don't think, like Dan said, he didn't tuck his chin. And see, at this point, if he was really,
you can
really
tell
hurt,
I think he checked with him.
He'd be telling the guy, office.
Well, even if he didn't, it looked like the one guy even said, "Are you okay?" Like he kind of talked to him right before he did that.
Now, I think they showed an inside, but man, get back to me on Mick Foley, on what that poor guy used to do.
Yeah.
My God. I remember one time I was with Hogan, I forget where we were at, but Mick did something off like the top of a cage onto the announcer's table, and that's the way it was supposed to go. And they had the announcer table all gimmick up, and they had like a black pad underneath it. But Mick came back, and like all the boys were like, "Man, are you okay?" And Mick was like, he had to lay down for a little bit, and then the real medics checked him out and stuff. But nobody, I don't think, ever will emulate his hardcoreness. I don't think anybody. There'll never be another Mick Foley, just because I don't think that the WWE wants to put people in that type of predicament. That was way extreme. They will never do that. They don't do juice anymore. Like, I don't think you ever see Hardway juice anymore.
Remember when Foley lost his tooth and it went up his nose and he had to have surgery to take it out because he took such a bump?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, they let these guys go, but I don't know the next time a guy's tooth is going to fly out of his nose and he's going to continue the match.
Never. There'll never be another Mick Foley, just because it's a different era. And I don't even think Rhett, probably the most about this, and maybe Seth, but they don't even do juicing. I don't even think they do juice anymore.
I think there were some at the Royal Rumble, wasn't there?
No, they started letting juice in, Bubba.
Oh, they're starting to juice again?
Yeah, guys will get busted open every now and again. It's definitely not as commonplace, though. And you don't see chair shots to the face anymore.
The reason they got rid of the juice beginning was, I think it was the USA Network asked stop it.
But maybe now that they're on Netflix, that gives them a certain amount of insulation on the juice gimmick, and they may be able to start juicing again because you're opting to watch it on Netflix. That means you've opted in, and there's a certain amount of insulation from language to juice.
I think they had Travis Scott smoking a blunt on the first Netflix Raw, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Right. So, the rules are way different on pay-per-view, which at the end of the day, Netflix is like a weekly pay-per-view, right? Because you can't get it for free.
Right.
Is that the Monday, the franchise that's on Netflix is Monday Night Raw, right?
Yeah. And then I think, as far as I know, the premium live events, pay-per-view, stuff like this is still on Peacock/WWE Network, which is only until that contract expires, because Seth I think the network is moving to Netflix in a year or two or something along those lines.
I believe. That makes sense. I from what I heard though, that this was streaming on Netflix and Peacock.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
If so, is Netflix, Peacock, and Speed was there to stream from backstage to get his perspective, which I think is brilliant from WWE. So they had it going all over.
And I can't remember the name of the other big streamer. But he was streaming like from the front row too. I was watching his stream for
Kai Cenat?
Yeah.
Cenat, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, he like cussed out Logan Paul.
I think this shows it like a better angle of just how brutal. Oh, this kid right here?
Yeah, Braun Breaker, yeah.
Oh, watch him feed himself in. He'll time it so that he feeds himself so that he's who ended up winning the Royal Rumble?
Jey Uso.
Who?
Exactly.
The main event, who? Jey Uso.
It's Roman Reigns' cousin.
He beat John Cena, threw him out. And John Cena's last ever Royal Rumble.
That was? Thank God.
Hold on.
Can
they
you just
jobbed
please disappear?
For Cena's last Royal Rumble, they jobbed him?
Yeah, but he's gonna get other chances to get the title.
Maybe they got to job him. Maybe they got to job him so that when he makes the ultimate comeback, you job him, and then he makes the ultimate babyface comeback, and his last match ever, he goes out, I don't know, with the strap or something. But then you gotta then the strap's undisputed. It is at that point, vacated.
Well, the whole thing with Cena this year is that he announced last year this was going to be his final year full time competing as a wrestler, and he's going to commit full time. I think he had 40 appearances booked for the year for WWE. he lost the Royal Rumble, and then now he's going to shoot a movie for a month, and then he's going to come back and compete at the Elimination Chamber. So they've really built this thing up as a retirement tour, and they told people he's going to be making as many appearances as possible, but so far it's a little underwhelming.
I don't know how you job him though.
I mean,
this is arguably one of the greatest of all time. Could potentially be on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Yeah, but I mean, he's done gimmick matches and stuff I'd say within the last 7 or 8 years. He's, if you want to call it jobbed out, he's probably been jobbed out more times than ever.
Really?
He's reached a status where he's going to be great no matter what he does. He's already won his championships. It would be nice to see him win a 17th and break Ric Flair's record. That's the big hype around it too, and that's what he's going for when he comes back. But yeah, I don't know.
You can tell you didn't have a Hogan type contract because Hogan could tell them 5 minutes before the match started. That doesn't work for me, brother.
It doesn't work
and then
for me.
Then he never does a job. They have to make last minute changes for everything, and then the guy that he's working, has to just shut up because he's got a regular contract.
John Cena's the ultimate company man, though. That's why I think he's had so much success.
Yeah, you're right. He is a very big company guy, and that's how you get successful in the world.
He made them so much money for so long.
It's the opposite of Antonio Brown. Not a company guy, and when you so many athletes, professional athletes, flounder because they're not company guys. And part of being a professional athlete is being a professional.
And you saw Stephanie McMahon was not a Hulk Hogan fan. She's a big.
I saw that story. I'm not going to really get into that.
Yeah, but she likes John Cena.
Did Stein really get in a fight with 3 Mexicans on a cruise?
What?
Did Alex Stein really get into a fight with 3 Mexicans on a cruise, shoot style?
When did that supposedly happen?
I saw that on the chat that he got into a fight on a cruise with 3 Mexicans over the last couple days.
Lummy, is that
real
like
or
breaking
is that
news?
I guess I don't know. I mean,
have you talked to Alex?
No, he's been on a cruise.
My whole algorithm's been Luca stuff, so I don't know if that happened or not.
Your algorithm is saying
my algorithm is all Luca, man.
That was insane.
Yeah, the guy. We're going to get into that. That's obviously our clickbait. Yeah, the Dallas Mavericks and the Lakers do. Was there another team involved in it as well, or
Utah.
no?
Yeah, the Jazz.
What did they get?
Got a couple of second-round picks and a prospect. It's just Danny Ainge is the GM. He's horny for draft picks.
So anyway, it completely blew up the Mavericks, and you're getting was it Anthony Davis in return, who is a Hall of Famer, but he's what? How old is Anthony Davis?
32.
Yeah, he's 32. Luka's 25, and
that's a big difference.
A lot of people are speculating that what does this saying to LeBron? What is this saying about the Mavericks? What does this say? There's a lot of people really can't. In every major sports guy, from Stephen A. Smith on down, are scratching their heads saying this, might be one of the biggest NBA trades ever. And what does this trade say? And everybody's breaking it down as to what it means.
I would say it's one of, if not the biggest trade ever, just because, the way that things work in the NBA, it takes one primetime player, like a 25-year-old Luka Doncic in his prime to transform a franchise. And it's no secret that LeBron's not going to play that much longer. He's going to be on his way out. You don't know.
He's already played 22, maybe 23 seasons, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's still averaging 12 points a quarter when he really is putting it on. So he's still got some juice. But the Lakers literally just secured their future for the next 6-7 years.
But did Dallas just blow up their future?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
They traded Luka, and then they were losing by 50 points in the first half the following night. So it is just, I think it's unheard of for a team to trade a franchise player like Luka in his prime. If he was 32 years old and he was feigning, that was one thing. But there's not even another sport comparison to this, in my opinion.
Luka's
the only thing I can think of is the Chiefs trading Pat Mahomes.
Right. Right.
And I know that
but
didn't LA and Detroit switch quarterbacks?
Yeah, but both were similar in age. Both were, I wouldn't say similar, maybe similar in skill set. It was, I think by all accounts, and as Detroit's now gone on with Stafford, to show that was a push at best. Both, LA went and won a championship, and I think Detroit's posturing with it. But the Goff Stafford trade wasn't. It was kind of more even than this. To me, this doesn't seem even at all. At all. I mean, you got you got a guard, a 6'7" guard in Luka that can, the only knock on him has been his conditioning, but he took the Mavs to the finals last year. And then, this guy's only 25, and I think he's one of only 3 dudes right now that has in his career averaged over 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 25 points a game. There's only 3 people ever to do that, and that was Oscar Robinson, LeBron James, and Luka.
Yeah, he's like a 5-time All-Star. He's 25 years old. It's
25 years old. The other dude, Anthony Davis, is what, 32?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, he's but they're saying now the Lakers ain't got anybody around the rim, and now it looks like both I don't know. We got so much to talk about with regards to that, and so many stories to play.
Both teams are trying to win a championship, and the Mavericks feel like this gives them a better chance. The thing is it was totally out of nowhere. Nobody knew about it. Apparently, LeBron didn't know about it, so the public didn't know about it. So that's what was shocking. But also, when you wanted to get into possibly why it happened, Luka was due a $350 million Supermax contract, I think, by the end of next season, and they didn't want to give it to him. They didn't want to build the rest of their team and franchise around Luka for whatever reason.
Why? But why, bud?
Like people.
Did he gain 40 pounds last year?
They said he got up to 270 this year.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, if you're one of those people that likes to invest in the TMZ dirt sheet type stuff too, there's a video floating around of the Mavs assistant GM taking a beer out of Luka's hand after a playoff win. And people feel like there's a lot of back and forth discussion. How do you feel? I mean, if you're a grown man, if Larry Bird just won a playoff game and someone snatches a beer out of his hand, how's that going to go down?
It's Larry Bird. I mean, it's like we just. I mean, hold on. Hold on. If you're snatching a beer out of an elite player's hand, keyword after a playoff victory, who cares?
Right.
I don't care if he's smoking weed, doing shots, or eating a beer, drinking a beer. I don't care. Now, if we just got blown out by 50 and you're out back there drinking a beer, maybe that aesthetic or, optically doesn't look good. But I mean, who cares? Like, who cares? Like drinking a beer after a playoff victory. Like at that point, you're right. You're subscribing to TMZ dirt sheet type stuff because that's a non-factor. Now, maybe gaining 40 pounds over the offseason, having kind of a bad attitude, not being, that the Mavericks are going to have to at least step up with $350 million on a guy that potentially might not want to be there. We don't know what the backstory of his attitude is.
He said he wanted. He released a statement last night and said he thought he was going to be there forever, and he would have been because why would he turn down the Supermax deal that he can only get from his team? He could only, now that he got traded to the Lakers, I think his biggest contract he can get is like maybe 250, 260. So
they just maybe screwed him out of $100 million too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to it.
I don't keep up on the NBA, standings and stuff, but where were the Mavericks, like up until yesterday, where were they playoff contention wise and, as far as how good they were?
I think they're middle
with Luka.
They're middle of the pack, but Luka's been out for quite a while. They have a few injuries, but the Mavs have 3 7-footers now, and so they feel like with having Kyrie Irving and having Anthony Davis that they have a championship team, that they have a better chance of winning a championship than they did with Luka. We'll see. I don't know.
And the Lakers feel like having Luka and a guard that can throw in 35 at any night at 6'7" I think, in my opinion, I have to go to words so we don't run too late. But in my opinion, the Lakers get the better deal here. The Lakers come out like this to me is like a no-brainer for the Lakers. And then with Seth's adding the knowledge with regards to like even when he super maxes out with the Lakers, that number's 250, not 350 because he switched teams. So like, God, if you're the Lakers, you got the deal. I mean, this is the trade of the NBA ever.
Is Luka nothing more than an out of shape drunk? I mean, is that the problem?
I don't know. I mean, is he?
I think you've got him confused for Zion Williamson at this point, Dan. Luka,
kid from the Pelicans.
He's a very productive player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a top 5 player in the NBA. I mean, he's
not just some bum.
But
No,
he
Dan,
does.
Dan, he's like one of the best. I mean, he's a top 5 guy in the entire. Now, I don't know that Anthony Davis is still a top 5 guy in the NBA, is he?
Anthony Davis's last game at the Lakers, 43 points, 24 rebounds.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a throwaway.
Maybe
but
maybe it's a win-win.
It's a
I don't know. I'm just scared with Anthony Davis being 7 years older than this guy.
It's more about Anthony Davis's position. I mean, this is the thing. It is one of the most shocking and biggest trades ever because Luka was involved, but also because the lack of return. Anthony Davis is a great player, but he's not where Luka Doncic is right now. And there's been a lesser players that have been traded that got traded for 4 or 5 first-round picks. And so a lot of people are saying Anthony Davis in a first-round pick is nowhere near enough for Luka. And the Mavericks made the call to the Lakers. The Mavericks never put Luka on the market. They never called any other teams. There would have been a bidding war. Teams said they would have given up their entire roster for him. So that's why that people they're shocked that you wouldn't put a guy like this up for auction.
And Mark Cuban has said in the past, now he had nothing to do with this decision. As far as I know, I think last year or the year before, he's not involved with front office and roster decisions.
He sold all but 27.5% and lost it.
But he had said in the
have
past,
anything to do with the day-to-day operations of the Mavs due to the fact that he sold to the people that own, I think, one of the casinos in Vegas owns the majority of the Mavericks now, but with the caveat that they're going to build this huge casino right next to the Mavericks facility, and a lot of people are doing that now. And then now Mark Cuban will own 27% of that possible entity, meaning that he relinquishes control of the Mavericks and gives up a majority stakeholder in the Mavericks. But he's now part of
Las Vegas Sands.
But he's part of now this bigger company that has aspirations of building like a huge destination gambling resort right next and tie that into the Mavericks arena, I guess. And so Cuban, who's a very smart businessman, is looking for that play compared to what the return on the Mavericks are going to be long term.
All right. Well, Mark Cuban that you just described, said in 2020, if I had to choose between my wife and keeping Luka on the Mavs, catch me at my lawyer's office prepping for a divorce.
Whoa.
I mean, you don't just say those things.
I really don't like Cuban.
Something's up. I know you don't. Let me burn this story up before we go to words. We'll probably continue the Luka stuff. I got to copy and paste all the Luka footage from all the like the Stephen A. Smith and everything like that. So I'm going to have to copy and paste on just like we can broadcast it. But this here certainly reminds me, if Dr. Dan was to go to the driving range and needed to have this is the driving range in the Philippines, and they got it so you don't even have to put they got girls. The only thing that would make this better if they were hot chicks that maybe were topless. But this is how the driving range in the Philippines goes right here.
I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something fresh.
So you just swing, and then this chick who's wearing like a COVID mask, Filipino chick, has this box of balls that she, strategically places down. You don't even have to lean over and put your own ball down in the Philippines.
People are saying
rich guy problems.
Real golfers are saying that would make them uncomfortable if a woman was there just putting the ball on the tee for them the whole time.
She's just sitting like staring.
And she's
at
actually
you.
pretty close. Like she's an air. I mean, I don't think you could ever really physically hit a ball so it went behind you. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you could, Bubba. You could hit her if you're.
Absolutely. I know a guy that blinded himself playing golf. The ball went straight up into his own eye and blinded himself.
Jeez.
For real?
Wow, that's pretty bad.
That's got to be the worst golfer ever.
Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like she doesn't look when you're swinging either. So
what?
She what?
She turns her head. It looks like every time you swing.
So she doesn't get hit in the face.
She's well trained.
But is it also so she doesn't freak him out by like, oh God, someone's staring at me? I know golfers are pretty fragile.
Probably that, and the fact that she doesn't get blinded like Dan's friend, and she just takes one in the back of the noggin. I think Dan's probably the back of your head's pretty thick, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah.
I mean, like skull wise, is that probably the most dense area? Of
Yes, the back is. Yes, unless you're icy speed.
And then I got to think probably the most fragile area of the skull is like the orbital, or what's that called? The orbital?
No, it's the temporal area. The orbital's all
really?
built up. Yeah, it's the temporal area. That side where your hair thins a little bit on the side right here. That's where it's thin. It's super thin.
That's the thinnest?
Yeah, you could break that with your finger.
Oh my God!
For real?
Yeah, you could crack that bone easy.
Why hasn't a wrestler had the temple crusher? You know, he just goes in there and crushes your temples.
People die.
Oh my God! Here comes a temple crusher.
Great Khali kind of did that. He was squeezing guys' heads. When I was a kid, I thought he killed Rey Mysterio on SmackDown.
I was watching it on some kind of reel, and the Undertaker came up and he was talking about the Great Khali. And then, you got to understand, man, the Undertaker for the entire time, he ran the locker room.
What did you say?
No, he ran the locker room. Mark Calloway and the Undertaker ran the locker room.
Did he?
And he was talking about how the great and who's gonna argue that?
No.
Yeah. Can you not hear me?
No, he just didn't believe you. He didn't know that the Undertaker ran the locker room.
No, I hadn't heard that.
Who didn't?
Brett,
you didn't hear that?
No, I've never heard that once.
For real?
For real?
You're being sarcastic.
I've been watching wrestling my entire life.
Really? Bubba said it before.
I've never heard it.
Google it.
This is my first time.
Are you just patronizing me because I've said it so many times?
I think so.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No.
Here's the deal. Whatever. You guys got me so thrown off.
So would you?
Well, I want a chick to put my balls on a tee.
Okay.
Yes, I want it. I want it.
Whatever. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show. I'll be back after these words.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
Jada Smith's kid.
Oh, what's that supposed to be, like a haunted house on this head?
I don't know, man. That's the only thing I saw from the Grammys last night. I Googled to see if Eminem won. He didn't. I was sad. Beyonce won Country Album of the Year.
I know, with her real blonde hair. He's still laughing. Oh, God.
You're killing me, man. What is the show? We fucking joke around and rib. What are you talking about?
Did you just get a haircut?
A couple weeks ago.
Really? Get that good?
Yeah. It'll get real close down here where it meets the beard. The day of is nice.
Hmm? No, I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah, I appreciate it though.
You want a straight?
Yeah.
It's not open yet.
Yeah, no, I mean,
But the other you wouldn't do? Like
no,
you wouldn't?
no, I can't. No, I'm all right. I appreciate it.
Oop.
Okay, look at that. Clean.
Could have been.
Could have been.
Yeah, no, but I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
You think that'd be unworth?
Yeah.
Not worth it? Okay. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real fast. You're gonna come right back. Oh.
Oh, what's up, guys? He said.
Yes, sir.
Did you go pee?
Yeah, what's up?
Next break, I just want to ask you a question.
Okay. You want me to come over? You texting me?
Well, no, I mean, not you. But
Okay.
no. Oh.
No slamming.
You're good.
No Dave Roxy time.
Fuck.
Oh, I'm all good. Good, thank you. Is that what you normally whisper into Bubba's ear? Or?
Sometimes.
Dan, are you really feeling for it?
Huh?
Are you really feeling for it?
I'm hungry.
It has a pretzel sticks if you want them.
Or are you trying to get those? Trying to get the cinnamon pancakes?
Huh?
You trying to get the cinnamon roll pancakes?
I don't know that or
Biscuits,
biscuits. Just get a protein shake. You see, the place doesn't open for another 25 minutes, and so.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Venmo, PayPal, Cash App at the Bubba Army. I know that I've had one, as I'm remote from Ocala Speedway, and the rest of the guys are back in the studio. I think, Lummy, my only very slow day today. I don't know that we've had any Venmo or Cash App.
Yeah, we have Venmo. We had a Neil Mouth Plaisir with the $20. No Cash App, though.
I had Las Vegas Mario come in with 20. Thank you so much. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App at the Bubba Army. Make sure you follow us at our YouTube channel if you could, please. And it looks like we went from like 167. By the way, everything for the most part, except our TikTok, that's a story in itself, is at the Bubba Army. But our Facebook with the viral $60 million reel, Super Bowl ad reel, I think we increased from like 168,000 to 175,000. So like, wow. Like
makes numbers go up. It's great.
Oh my God, it does. This is really, I didn't get, Lummy, you guys didn't really send too many stories about the Philadelphia stuff. Did this happen Saturday night? We're going to get back into the Lucas stuff.
I think it was Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah,
and
I said a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's one. And again, as I know it now, and as you guys have prepared me, this was a Learjet that was returning. Was it returning back to Philly from
Mexico?
Oh, from Mexico.
It was going back to Mexico.
Oh, it was going back to Mexico.
Yes.
Yes. The patient, the child had completed treatment at the Shriners Hospital, and the Shriners Hospital does do God's work. So
you know what? I mean, you're a doctor, and you certainly have a better understanding than we do. But it's my understanding that the Shriners Hospital is absolutely one of the actual philanthropic, fun, charity-based 501c3 medical facilities for children that really, really, really do what they say.
Yeah,
And
they
that,
do a
like,
lot more than just riding around those little go-karts with the stupid hats. They actually take care of literally thousands of children with burns and orthopedic injuries. They don't charge them anything. They help the families throughout the process. They have great doctors. They really truly do God's work. And I give them nothing but love.
Chief Charlie 215, $20. Go Birds and Chub It Up Spice, $20 on the Cash App.
I need some PayPal action. I'm just going to be quite honest with you. At the Bubba Army PayPal, maybe even a tenner, just to see if my PayPal's working. Lummy, I feel as if I'm froze up Willie here. So anyway,
now, Bubba, when you hear of a plane that crashes in the first 60 seconds of takeoff, what does that tell you? It tells me something specifically.
A couple of things. One, maybe an engine failure.
But secondary too.
Two, pilot error.
Third one, fuel.
Fuel.
What if they had the wrong fuel in that thing? Because if they put the wrong fuel in it takes about 40 seconds for that fuel to cause catastrophic double engine failure. Happened to a friend of mine.
Well-known plastic surgeon.
Yep.
In Tampa, very well known. Oh, like on the
top 10,
Mount Rushmore.
Top 10 of the
guys. I was getting ready to say like the Mount Rushmore of Tampa plastic surgery guys would be you, this guy who died, and our good David. I don't know who the fourth would be, but David Halpern. Is that third guy?
But he was a special guy. This guy actually went to Harvard, Princeton, and Yale.
Yeah.
And
this
Dan,
is a guy, Dan.
There's a couple angles where it looks like this thing was on fire headed towards the ground.
Right. Catastrophic engine explosions tells me that it wasn't the engine failure. It wasn't an engine failure because of maintenance. It wasn't the pilot error because he pulled up too hard and stalled. He had the wrong fuel. That's what my bet is. They're going to find out that they put the wrong fuel in that plane, and that's why the engine's blowed up.
Let me, Brian from Philly. Thank you so much, Brian from Philly, on my PayPal. So this plastic surgeon from Tampa, who, by the way, Dan's office manager, Naba, nice ass, bad attitude. That's where Dan got her from, is the fact that she worked for this guy, and he was in Kokomo, Indiana, and he had his own plane.
No, it wasn't his plane. He was doing it for a friend.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He was an accomplished pilot.
Right. He could even fly blimps. He's like one of only 30 people in the whole world that was licensed to fly blimps. I mean, he's that kind of guy. Helicopters blow. He could fly a duck. He could fly anything.
I don't know how sexy that is when you're at the bar. Listen, baby, I can fly. I mean, I think if you're a pilot and you're like, hey, baby, I can put you on a Lear. I can get you in a twin prop.
F-22.
Hey, baby, you know what? I can fly. Hey, baby, I can fly a blimp. I don't know if a girl's spreading for a blimp.
Oh, you don't think the Goodyear guy is getting a lot of vagina?
I don't think the Goodyear blimp guys are really getting a lot of ass. Now, the guys that are driving that Gulfstream 650 for Jeff Bezos, they're probably getting all kinds of ass.
Fighter pilots.
The guy that's floating the blimp over Ray J this weekend, I don't know how much ass he's getting, to be honest with you.
Who gets more ass, the blimp guy or the balloon guy?
What are you talking about? The guy who's that's
the hot air balloon guy. Who gets more ass? The blimp guy
the
or the hot air balloon guy?
That's even worse than a blimp guy.
No, hot air balloon guy's getting ass because he could take his lady up there and romanticize her.
Yes. Whereas a blimp's a big production.
Blimp guys have all the TV contracts.
I got a story from that we'll get to later today, where that Brazilian OnlyFans girl was having a threesome on a real high story balcony in Brazil with two guys and her. They were doing content, and they blasted her right off the balcony, and she died.
Yes.
She was probably getting railed against the balcony, like we've all done in our lifetime. At one time or another, we've all tried to rail a chick, high up on a balcony with her hands holding the rail, and you go into town from behind. And I think probably that's probably how it happened. Then the balcony gives out, and the guys.
Is that murder?
Did the balcony give out? No, if the balcony gave out, it's not murder. If you got her hiked up there and you hit, you pump one time too hard and she knocks over,
and you let go.
Then
I don't know.
We're
gonna have to get to that story a little bit later. So this is a Learjet that's taken off out of Philly.
But Bubba, to finish your story about Greenwald, he was in the plane. He flew up there to take this plane back to Florida, and they filled the plane with the wrong type of fuel. Yeah. And literally 30 seconds into takeoff, what happens, Bubba?
Well, yeah. So he needed 100 low lead because it was a single engine, like Bonanza or Seneca or something like that. It was a single engine plane, but it was I think it might have been a Mooney
turboprop.
Yeah, it might have been a Mooney, but it was a nice plane. And
supposedly a very difficult to fly one.
A single engine, and that takes 100 low lead. And they put jet fuel in it. So when he's at the FBO, he's like, "Hey, fill me a top both of my engine. Make sure I'm full of fuel, and boom, tell me when it's ready." So he's filing his flight plan and stuff. Again, this was a doctor. What was the guy's name?
Greenwald,
Dr. Greenwald, well-known plastic surgeon, pilot, blimp aficionado, and he was in Kokomo, Indiana. And so the guys who work the fueling department in the private plane sector put by mistake what they call Jet A.
Is that kerosene?
Yeah, it's kerosene. It's what jets.
Is it a
run
version
on
of kerosene?
Yes, it's a version of kerosene, and it's completely
different.
Completely your plane won't run on it. It'll blow up on it. Is what it'll do. So. They put Jet A in it instead of 100 low lead, and it takes about, minute or two for it to start mixing with your existing fuel, now diluting your existing fuel into not what it is. And so this guy, this doctor from plastic surgeon from Florida, from here, is in Kokomo, goes down fires his plane up, gets it warmed up, takes it down to the end of the runway, gets going down halfway, rotates, gets about 150 feet off the ground.
Not far, yeah.
And then I think he was still in the airfield, and his motor gave out. There's no, the first 30 seconds of taking off is the most critical, because that's where you haven't gained a lot of airspeed. You're not very far away from the field, and you don't have the luxury on a single engine failure of turning around. You're just basically a tin can, a can of beer, a tin can falling from the sky, because you have nothing. Now, if you're 12,000 feet and you're flying and your engine goes off, well, there's a button that you hit, it tells you where the nearest airport is, and you can probably glide a long ways. 10, 15, 20 miles sometimes. Altitude is your friend, but when you're taking off, that's when it's the most crucial. This pilot from here in Tampa, he's rotating, the engine stops, and he just falls right to the ground, kills him instantly. And so, Dan, you're right. This Philadelphia situation, this medical Learjet leaving out of Philadelphia, headed to Mexico because the Mexican girl just got life-saving surgeries and treatment from the Shriners Hospital on this medical Learjet. This is the footage that I have that you guys gave to me.
It said it got up to, it climbed to 1,500 feet, took a slight right, slight left turn, and then did a steep descent into the ground pretty much, and the whole flight was less than 1 minute.
All right, so let me see. Look at this. Now,
that's straight down. That's straight to the ground.
If you look at the trajectory of this, they're not gliding. They are like the Bugs Bunny commercial when Bugs Bunny would just go straight down and hit the air brake and stop like one foot from the ground. Remember that? Right. This is like straight to the ground.
Now, do they pass out? Would they pass out going that fast down?
Yeah,
no?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, you're I don't know how many G's you're pulling at this, but you're probably not dead. You're just sucked against the seat. You can't do anything. Oh. I don't know, Dan, at what point do G's kill you?
Oh, it's got to be sudden. We could tolerate 5 G's gradually, no problem at all.
Well, I don't think.
Well, that's not 5 G's. That's not when the 5G
that's probably 10.
Going straight down like that? You think it's going 10 times? It's 1 G, Bubba. You're going to the speed of gravity. You think they were going faster than gravity?
They found the black box and everything 8 feet down. So
look at that. Let me play this again. Here it is. You can see it looks like a comet almost.
Jeez. It looked like a missile kind of.
Yeah.
At this point, man, I'm like, man, we're being invaded.
Yeah.
I mean, this type of explosion, we're being invaded. Who did Trump piss off? Now they're bombing us.
Well, it is Philly, so
this made me. This is an
eagle. This is an eagle celebration.
This made me realize that the plane that got hit the other day in D.C. I don't think everybody died as soon as the helicopter ran into it.
definitely not.
Yeah, I thought
No.
at first, I was like, oh, an explosion, but this is where everybody dies, in a second.
This is like, you're right. Like, Seth, this is the second you hit the ground, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, you're dead. And I don't know that you're not dead. I mean, Dan and I disagreed to the amount of G's, that you may be pulling at this point, and are you even conscious when you're like that, And Dan, they're probably going, honest to God, they're probably going 500 miles an hour at that point.
You're right. They're probably going 500 miles into the ground, and people that normally fall from a height are only doing about 150 miles an hour. So probably like 3 Gs.
So I'm saying 10 Gs, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they were alive or not when they hit the ground, because this is insurvivable, this explosion. Like, I mean, you're probably incinerated to the point of cremation ashes upon this explosion.
But just unbelievable to think about what's going through their head for that 5 seconds that they realize that it's over. It's like people, jumping out of the, World Trade Center, Center during 9/11.
And then, what are you thinking halfway down? Now, Dan, the people that jumped out of the World Trade Center, were they alive all the way?
Until they hit.
Till they hit?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they hit, does it just go black and you're dead?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's no passing out at all, Dan? Like if you're up that, oh man.
Skydivers don't pass out.
I passed out when
you got
was
the
there.
pain, but not the fall. The fall didn't make you pass out. The pain made you pass out.
Yeah. So, Lummy, that's one of the pieces of footage I have from the Philadelphia.
They said also a bunch of fuel leaked out, and I guess it was causing fires around certain areas in Philly.
Yeah, there was 22 other people that were injured on the ground.
Yeah, there was tons of damage on the ground. The videos are insane.
Yeah, I haven't been able to pace during the hot mics, Lummy. I'm trying to get everything over so we can watch them. I have some more footage from the Philadelphia stuff to play here when the next time we break. Going back to the Luka stuff, this is Mark Cuban said that he had absolutely nothing to do with the Luka trade.
The owner of the team has nothing to do with.
He doesn't own the team anymore.
Oh, even as a minority owner, he still
he doesn't have any. He took himself
Zero?
out of the day-to-day operations of the Mavericks front office. So Mark Cuban wants the unquestioned face and majority. Here we go. I think is this the story, Lamy, right here?
Shockwaves in the NBA world.
It should be, unless they updated it.
Following the trade of Luka Doncic to the Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis and, of course, some other players involved, but not a lot, not enough, if you ask Mavericks fans. Well, the question is, what's going to happen with Dallas's next game? AD's not healthy to play yet, but what's the domino effect?
Oh, and I didn't know. Are they both hurt? Are Luka and AD both hurt? Because I know Luka's been dinged up and hasn't played too. So did they swap injured players?
I think Anthony Davis is a little banged up, but he didn't play last night because they made the trade the day before. So
yeah, he's got a abdominal muscle strain. So he's day-to-day.
Abdominal muscle strain.
But Luka got to LA last night and AD got to Dallas, I think, yesterday afternoon.
Right. And I got the footage of Luka getting off the plane here.
The reaction. So Mavs in Cleveland to face the Cavs, who
they lost by 44.
The best record in the NBA, or one of. 13 points is your spread. 236 is your total. Now, really tough game to figure out if you think about it, because you can't look at it in a vacuum. But
they're just dissecting the game they're just dissecting the last night's game.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to.
So they updated it for the future. But I was telling Seth this morning, it kind of screws Luka over. You can't get your mega contract. You're going from Texas, that's but no state tax, to LA. To LA,
yeah, you have no
state tax, and you can't get your max deal.
You're $100 million on the they screwed you out of $100 million. What the Mavericks could pay you on a max deal compared to what the Lakers could pay you. You don't have any state taxes in Texas. I mean, my God, isn't California one of the most taxed states in America?
That in New York, yes.
Yeah. So now you go, instead of having a $350 million deal in the state of Texas that's not taxed, now the max you can get is $250, and you're probably paying an additional, 10 to 12% in state taxes, right?
Yes.
I mean, they talk about if Luka wasn't an alcoholic, this will lead him to drink. I'm just telling you that right now.
Plus, all the prime real estate in LA is burned.
Although he remains a minority owner of the team, Cuban has stepped back from the day-to-day basketball operations since the Adelson family acquired majority control in 2023. Like whoever said, I don't know that Mark Cuban-led Mavericks makes this trade.
No way. Absolutely not.
The trade itself was driven primarily by the general manager, Nico Harrison. Who's that jobber?
He's
who reportedly made the call to shift the franchise's direction. I'm sorry, he's what?
No. He's just the guy that everybody hates right now. They had to spray paint the profanity that fans put outside of the stadium yesterday. They'd have guys come by and pressure wash all the stuff that people were saying about the GM.
He's also the guy that snatched a beer out of Luka's hand.
Even though it appeared out of the fear that Luka would be potentially leaving the club in 2026, when his deal was like to expired, if he opted out of his 26-27 player option worth about $49 million, he was still not likely to be there for long term. I mean, how do you not know that? He by all accounts, it looked like Luka loved Dallas and didn't want to go anywhere. Cuban once declared, again, as I think Rhett mentioned earlier, if I had to choose between my wife and keeping Luka on the Mavs, you're going to catch me at my lawyer's office prepping for a divorce. Again, he's no longer in position to exercise that level of influence, giving his minority ownership with the franchise. Boy, I always thought that Mark Cuban kind of identified a little bit, really, really, really liked owning the Dallas Mavericks and having full control. I always thought he was kind of like a Jerry Jones of the NBA, kind of.
He was. I guess he said that he wanted to focus on real estate.
This new casino deal.
Yes.
He wants to focus on this potential new casino deal. At what point, man, is not enough money? Like, if you're worth, I think they got him worth at what, $4 to $5 billion. Like, and you got an opportunity to be part of this resort casino type deal by selling the majority of the stake to this, to the people that own. What'd you say, Lummy? They owned
the Las Vegas Sands Corp.
Right. And they have these big time goals of making Dallas into this big resort gambling thing attached to the Mavericks, and so obviously
but Dallas
Cuban
sucks. Dallas as a city sucks. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's hot.
Why do you say that?
I've been to Dallas many times, and the people are nice, but the city itself, from a geographical standpoint, Dallas sucks.
I know it's kind of in the middle, but it's kind of the middle of the good thing about it, destination wise, geographically. It's kind of in the smack dab in the middle of our country. I think you can be in L.A. in 2 hours. I think you can be in New York in 3 hours.
Yeah, that's like Rocky Point, though. You're close to everything, but you're nothing.
Dan making fun of the fine Rocky Point area, the Tampa Bay region.
That sucks. This is like living on Davis Island. Harbor Island. Again, close to everything, but nothing's there.
Here's Luka getting off some badass private jet in L.A. This is... Now, is that the general manager of the Lakers? Or
yeah. Rob Pelinka.
I mean, people have got to be. Are the Lakers fans happy about this? I mean, like, you said Dallas. The Dallas fans were spray painting profanity on the side of the building, bringing a coffin to the game. What are the Lakers fans doing?
Bubba, they can't believe this is happening. I mean, you got Magic Johnson, you've got Kobe Bryant, you've got LeBron James, and now you've got Luka. Like that's the level that Luka is near or approaching. Kobe Bryant loved Luka, so this is the greatest thing that could happen to Lakers fans. Plus, I think it would keep LeBron James around an extra year or two. So who knows what those two could do together.
And I mean, are they closer to winning a championship with Luka than Anthony Davis? And Anthony Davis is getting ready to time out, isn't he? A little bit.
I don't, Bubba. You would give up your entire roster for Luka. It's not so much about like we can or can't win with Anthony Davis. It's we got to do whatever we can to get Luka because the team ended up saying you have other teams in the league that prep for players like this to be free agents for 3 or 4 years ahead by making moves to have money and to have picks and have capital and everything they need to potentially land a superstar and build a franchise around him. And Luka's that guy.
So yeah, AD is. He's a
the Mavs get
productive role
fleeced?
player, but Luke is just a needle mover. Like, there's literally less than 5 of those guys in the NBA, and he's one of them.
Did the Mavericks get fleeced? I mean, do they just absolutely get fleeced?
I mean, unless they win a championship, yeah. But that's the thing too, is that people are upset about is that there was no, besides the fact that you trade a guy that you probably shouldn't, you also didn't have
Better your
any
team.
There was no negotiating with anybody. They only called the Lakers. Like, they only talked to the Lakers, and then I guess the Lakers just had a couple weeks before they decided that they were willing to do the deal. I mean, they didn't.
So are there players in the league that are better than Anthony Davis that you could have gotten for Luka and more, and maybe even more picks?
Yes,
and then just geo-targeting on Anthony Davis and settling for that. Had they opened up, and called threw it out there to the NBA market, hey, we're ready to deal Luka, probably everybody would have come running with maybe more of a goodie bag than just Anthony Davis and a first rounder.
Yes, by far, every single team would have given more.
So is this like the Lakers' insurance policy when LeBron retires? Is he going to be the face of the franchise?
Yes.
Oh, I think so. I think so.
Yep.
Here are Mavericks fans. They're bringing coffins. They're bringing coffins to the where the Mavericks play. Yeah.
Throwing the rose on the casket gets me.
Yeah.
That's creative.
And a clump of sand. Which one's 32? Luka is the old one.
The guy the Mavericks got's 32. The guy that the Lakers got's 25, and arguably one of the top 5 guys in the league, and might be one of the top 5 guys of all time. And he's 25. And you got him. You got him for
nothing, for a bum.
Well, no, I mean, Anthony Davis isn't a bum.
Well, this is what
the Mavs did get beat by 40 last night.
Here's what the Mavs GM said. He said he made the deal because defense wins championships.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, I think Stephen A. Smith broke it down quite nicely. We'll come back. I think I'm a little bit late, so we'll come back. I got Stephen A. Smith, and I love him. He says it like it is. I don't know if you guys are. I'm a big Stephen A. Smith fan.
I started liking him a lot more recently.
Yeah, I do. I like him. We'll come back with Stephen A. Smith's 2-minute rant on this particular situation coming up next after these words.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
Yeah. I mean, he texted me 2 days after my birthday. It really doesn't mean anything.
Happy birthday.
I agree with you, Cole. I like him.
And now, drum roll, please. The number one reason why everyone is switching to Freeway is...
Wait, don't tell them. Let's let our customers tell them why everyone is switching to Freeway.
Cool. I'm a terrible driver, but Freeway didn't seem to mind my bad driving record.
The price they quoted me was amazing.
If you want great auto insurance at an affordable price, Freeway Insurance is the answer. 800-760-4018. 800-760-4018.
I don't know how those words get passed.
Luca.
It's a good word.
Luca. If anybody wants to slam the door, wants the lights on, mess with the AC, come on over.
Low burners. What's up, Carlos? Oh, God. I agree.
You piece of shit. And if you're in my top 5 friends and you send a birthday text 2 days after, just keep it. Keep it. I don't need it.
I'm not sending you a birthday text 2 days late. Seth, I did not know it was your birthday. I'm sorry.
Oh, dude, it's you're good. I didn't want anybody to know. I just would think my friends after 20 years would know.
I don't have Facebook, so I'm sorry.
My Facebook says January 1st.
Oh, well.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I am live from Ocala Speedway in Ocala, Florida. And between Merch Crick and Macho Man and Rhett, they have enabled me to set up a mini studio here in my RV. And the longer I do it, the more comfortable I get. And I think You'll
be there for the next 3 weeks?
No, 2. But I'm going to try to get back in the studio. But, you know, I start having a better attitude the longer that we're on the air and the more comfortable I get. Yeah. And I think that it for what it is, it's pretty phenomenal how we are able to make it look and sound.
And you sound perfect. I mean, it's not. You do sound perfect. I'm not trying to just butter your muffin, but it sounds like you're in here.
Please butter my muffin, Seth. Will you butter my muffin?
Is your muffin your pubis?
No, I don't know what it is.
Okay,
but it's whatever it is.
I just wanted to check before I started buttering.
Right, Joey Campbell, let me on the PayPal. Thank you so much,
Dr. Dan.
PayPal, Venmo.
Dr. Dan got these biscuits and gravy here, Bubba. He smelled up the whole studio. Man, this is
who's eating them?
Dr. Dan.
Dan's going biscuits and gravy. Dan's going white trash Willie on me.
Yeah, it's eggs,
You're
cheese.
You're a biscuits and gravy guy.
Damn, let me just blow up the spot.
You get mad if we order them if you're here. So
no,
I figured.
yeah, because I'm trying to be somewhat responsible about my fatness.
I lost a bunch of weight, so I'm trying to build back up.
You did?
Yeah.
How did you lose stress? What's
Yeah,
going on?
Stress, just life.
People don't real life or wife.
Life.
Both.
Yeah. Life.
People think the doctor. I'm one of Dan's best friends, so I know where all the bodies are hidden, so to speak. And Dan is just. Everybody thinks Dr. Dan's got the greatest life in the world. You wouldn't believe, having as large of a practice that he does, plastic surgery wise. There's a lot of overhead there, and then obviously Diaco Law. That's a pretty big deal. Obviously, you don't manage that. Jay does, so that's at least you don't have to run that. You have to run the plastic surgery deal, and it gets a little overwhelming a lot. I mean, and you live somewhat of a rock star lifestyle. And
right? I'm still fighting with the insurance companies over the hurricane damage, and it's nonstop.
Have you had to lawyer up on that deal?
We have contacted counsel. My public adjuster is saying hold off on the civil remedy notice. We'll know more this week.
You ready to blow in a civil remedy, Willie?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I've been so frustrated, and this.
And you, by the way, hold on. Let me just stop. You have, I think, Chubb, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
have
Chubb insurance, and like for the average guy. The average person can't afford like Lords of London or Chubb, some of these really, really upper end insurance companies that you pay not only do you pay for your house insurance, but you probably have a personal umbrella and all kinds of different, all your cars and everything, all through, a really one of the most reputable, pristine, only for really affluent people insurance company like Chubb, and they're treating you, Dan, like you're with the general. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chubb usually
it's ridiculous.
They come in, they're very fair. They give you what you need. They look at your damages. They say, "Yep, you've been a customer for however long. We're very prestigious in being Chubb, and you don't have these type of headaches that you're going through right now."
And I think that's the way it would have been, Bubba, if there weren't 50,000 claims the same 2 months. And I think all these insurance companies are so overwhelmed by these massive volume claims that they're just trying not to pay anybody, and they'll get in trouble for it. They'll be bad faith. They'll
class
pay.
action suits, all this kind of stuff.
Bad faith. If they know they have damage and they're choosing not to do it until the very, 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 very end and drag you through 2 years of
but
stress,
if you're Chubb,
then it's bad faith.
If you're Chubb, you're like, listen, this guy's a lawyer and a doctor. We may not want to, scrimp him like we're trying to scrimp the guy that is selling cars down the road or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I gotta understand.
They're not worried about the doctors. They're worried about Luigi. Okay.
Yeah, but they're gonna get prison raped in the end. So I'll get him back. Broomstick style.
Anyway, Dan, I feel for you because I know that it's well into six figures. Six figures, almost halfway to 7.
Have you thought about doing an arson deal, Dan?
Lasker's good on the torch. I'm just telling you. Let me tell you something, Dan. I can put that place up in flames in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, they really, they'll never call it a total loss. You literally have to be burned like L.A. for them to call it a total loss. This 25% rule is BS.
Oh, hold on. So there's a 20.
Was there a 25% rule at the beach?
Yes. That means.
So what's that mean?
Pretty much if 25% of your whole entire house is still standing or is livable, the house is recoverable.
Oh, jeez.
25. So if you had a 3,000 square foot home and only 1,000 square foot of it was livable.
Correct.
No.
They're not going to give you a total loss, will they?
Livable or salvageable?
Technically, it's salvageable. It depends on what person you get, but it's salvageable. So yes, if you have 3 walls up, and they can recover the house, then they'll rebuild it.
So now, 3 walls in the foundation.
Yes.
Where do you stand, Lemmy, with your frustration of what you're dealing with in your remodel of your home, which is close to the studio, and you got some guy in the city of Tampa that was demanding full-blown like golf course like manicured swells in the back, when nobody else around you that's remodeled or even new construction has had to put these drainage type greenway swells and pond retention. And has it easily cost you over $10,000? Easily?
It's a little under. I mean, it's coming into that now, creeped up into it now. But yeah.
And are you now? I mean, is it still ongoing, or are you?
No. Luckily, I was able to get someone else that came out there, and the guy that came out there was there for about 3 minutes and passed it. So,
so you're passed.
I'm passed.
Done.
Yes.
Ready to start renting it out.
Once the beautiful, lovely city of Tampa sends me my little CO, I'm good to go.
You suck at Tampa. You give it to them.
They're just very backlogged right now. They said so. I'm just waiting for them to give it to me.
All right, hold on.
But they do a great job there.
Hold on here. Okay, boom. I had a.
How long does it take?
It's supposed to take 2 days.
How long has it been?
So this week?
It's 5 days. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Listen, the great mayor Jane Castor is a great gal. So
right.
They're busy, but they're going to get it.
Here's the thing: just when we think people don't really listen to our show locally, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a Bubba effect on the Lummy situation, very much so. And he got this building code dude that just bent you over. Lummy, you know what? I would sit down with Jay and Dan and Steve and see if you might have some type of legal remedy.
Lummy versus the city?
Dr. Dan gave me one of his real estate lawyers I've talked to before.
Okay.
So I think once I'm going to get this all settled, because that's kind of what his advice was.
Right.
You don't want to cause any more headaches because they'll make your life a living hell.
Get your CO and then start backtracking all the effery.
Exactly. I've kept all
they
records
did
on
to
it.
you.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So speaking of which, rolling back to the Luka deal, I think Stephen A. Smith could probably pretty much we can put an exclamation point and move on from the Luka story. That is how you say the guy's last name? Luka is it Doncic?
It's Doncic, but I mean he goes by one name.
He goes by Luka.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Luka. I live on the second floor. Remember that Susan Vega song?
Yeah.
There was a
of course.
For real. There's a song called Luka. Hi, my name is Luka. I live on the second floor. It's the only thing I can remember.
What happens?
Chick too, right? Was Luka a girl?
Was that? I think Luka was a girl.
Yeah.
And she lived on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll have to look it up and I'll play it maybe here next in a minute.
I'll send it to you.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked like most, if not the entire basketball world appears to be. It's not something that you would have ever anticipated, primarily from the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic is a global star. He's a global superstar in this game. You know what he can bring to the table. He's fresh off an appearance in the NBA Finals. He's 25 years of age. He's a perennial all-star and a 25 points per game scorer, averaging 28 points a game this year, even though he only played 22 games. Nobody would have thought that you would think to trade Luka Doncic. So there's a lot of speculation as to why that may have happened. Did he want out? Did something happen that the team said, okay, enough's enough, let's get rid of him? We don't know the answers to that question at this particular moment in time, but that's speculation. And then when you look on the
Man, I got to say, just watching Luka's
what people say
highlight reel. So you're saying he's an alcoholic?
Yep, that's my call. That's my opinion. That's what's causing this. He's an alcoholic. That's why he's getting fat. That's why Dallas has had enough of him. They realize he's got a problem, and let's just dump it off to L.A., who's filled with problems.
Can they send him to AA? I mean, can LA
doesn't do nothing, man. And anyone that gains 50 pounds in a year, and he looks like it, and he's 25, and he's got all this money and all this power, and he's Eastern European, he's a drunk.
Yeah, and you know what they're saying? He gets into shape during the season rather than coming into shape during training camp.
Right, which is how high school kids do it, not how pros do it. Pros are supposed to stay in shape year round. It's pathetic. He's an alcoholic,
Davis side.
in my opinion.
Yeah, there you go. There's Dan. Dan said he's an alcoholic.
That's backing me up on this.
Listen, I've seen, you've seen the conspiracy theory type stuff, but one of the things that people threw out is that he is an alcoholic.
That's why he would slap a beer out of his hand. Because, dumbass, you're an alcoholic. Get the beer out of your hand. You've got a problem. And if you don't
here's the deal.
fix it, I'm sending you to L.A.
You don't slap the beer out of a guy who doesn't have a drinking problem and is just celebrating. You slap the beer out of a guy who's got a drinking problem.
No one
right?
slapped a beer out of Rondé Barber's hand after he won a playoff game on the plane home.
Because he's not an alcoholic.
Exactly.
He's not an alcoholic.
No, exactly. It wasn't a problem for him.
This is a guy that's a big-time player. He's an all-star. He's one of the elite defensive players in the game of basketball.
Now, let me, or whoever, is he the biggest, heaviest guard in the league? Because he's 6'7", and he really looks like a small forward, but he's a guard. But he does look kind of, and
does he look fat? This was at the end of last year.
I think he does look kind of fat.
Does he?
And here's the deal. Here am I. And I want to make sure that I preference by saying I'm fat.
Right.
So
and it's in your opinion, and this is in our personal opinions.
And I don't have any right to call anybody else's fat, other than I'm just a regular dude that knows what the usual NBA guard looks like, and this guy looks to be out of shape, in my opinion, by NBA guard standards.
Basketball, a rim protector, a scorer, good for 25 and 12 a night, etc. And the Lakers moving away from him. What does that say in terms of their message to LeBron? LeBron James is 40 years of age in his 22nd season. You're looking to compete for a championship. And
now, is there any reports as to, I think LeBron had nothing to do with this. The Lakers did not ask him his opinion on this. They pulled the trigger without his consent or knowledge. He found out about it while he was having dinner with his family after having, I think, beat the Knicks in New York. Does that say anything for what they think about LeBron and the fact that they pull this major of a trigger without his knowledge?
I don't think that there's any reason to talk to LeBron when you're looking at, who could be the face of your franchise for the next 10. I mean, I don't know. They said that LeBron was growing tired of Anthony Davis. So the biggest thing is nobody believes LeBron. Nobody believes LeBron wasn't in on this. Nobody believes LeBron didn't know about it. One of the most powerful people in all of the sport, along with his agent. So that's the thing that people don't believe also, is that he was shocked to find out that they got him. But there was no rumors or anything about this. This came completely out of the blue. Everybody thought that the NBA reporters were hacked when this came out. There's footage of players getting their phones out on the benches during games, looking at it, not believing the news. So it's just shocking. But this isn't something that you gotta run by LeBron. LeBron is going to be very happy to play with Luka.
Right. So maybe the time and just how quick they had to pull the trigger, they didn't have a chance. And LeBron was obviously on the East Coast. So,
if LeBron didn't know this has been a couple, weeks in the work. But I mean, if LeBron didn't know, then that's because, he's not 35 anymore and he's not going to be there for 5 more years. And
right.
they got to run the franchise when LeBron moves on. So go ahead and take in, Luka, when he served up to you like this, you have to do it.
Right. Davis himself was on the record saying we need a 5. So I can get to my natural position at the 4, and I think that's what we could use in order to move forward and potentially win a championship. By this move happening, the Lakers have no rim protector. Luka nor LeBron James can do that. So the season, in a lot of people's eyes, is the wash for the Los Angeles Lakers, and it appears like they've said to LeBron James, I'm sorry, maybe another time. But we're certainly not going to be thinking about a championship this year when we have nothing on our front court after losing Anthony Davis. And so that's what you're looking at right now. It's a whole bunch of questions, a whole bunch of intrigue, and a shocker, maybe the biggest shock of a trade that many of us have seen in NBA history.
Now, when is Luka's first game as a Laker? Tonight?
No, I don't know. He's been out. He's been out for a while. So
he's been out.
Yeah, I don't know if he's magically going to be better all of a sudden, but yeah, he has not. They say he's only played 20 so games this year. I think half the season.
Calf injury, I think it is.
Yeah, something like that. He's always kind of nipped up.
AD's got an abdominal strain, and Luka's got a calf willy. So neither one of them are going to probably contribute anytime. Well, I wouldn't say anytime soon, but they'll both
be back pretty soon, I think.
Right. Did you watch the East-West Shrine game, and did Shiloh Sanders get scorched or something? They're saying that he may not have bettered himself during the Shrine game.
Well, yeah, I mean, Shiloh was getting kind of from clips from their practices. They were showing that he was just getting
I think he had
torched.
6 tackles and 1 broken up pass statistically.
Look, Shiloh was never going to be a first, second.
No,
maybe
I think
even a
Shiloh's
third and fourth.
I think Shiloh is more of a 5, 6, 7.
Well, now definitely is, but I mean they were predicting that maybe third and fourth after coming out of Colorado, but now they're putting him back down to that 5, 6 guy.
Here is him comparing himself to Donald Trump. I think this is after the game.
Yeah.
Those little clips that people posted out there, what do you want people to know? If you just hate me, those little clips.
Hold on. So people that were at practice for the East-West Shrine game were just hating on Shiloh, showing clips of guys, running routes on him and things like that.
Yeah, they were just showing
made a worst of Shiloh tape, and because he's Deion's son and he's high profile. There was a bunch of these clips floating out.
Like in a 3-hour.
I can see where that's kind of bull crap a little bit.
Like a 3-hour practice, they may have posted like 5 clips from it that made it look bad.
I mean, and you got to understand, you're going against some of the best receivers in the country. Now, granted, they don't compare to what you're going to be going against in the NFL. But I mean, speaking of which, as we talk about this, Lummy, the screen is all Deion Sanders. Did you see all that back just a second ago? Yeah. Here's Shiloh.
Those little clips that people posted out there, what do you want people to know?
If you just hate me or you want to hate me, paint me in a bad picture. They do that to our president. They do that to everybody, so I'm not going to be safe from it. But it does get aggravating whenever you put in work and you're working on your craft and people just steadily destroying you. I just care about what the scouts think. I care about what Coach Prime think, what my family think. And I got a good circle around me, so I really don't let that stuff affect me. It's just really stupid how people always just try to destroy you, and I don't do nothing bad to nobody.
Also, but one thing I was going to say, one thing you got to think about, and I'm not really sticking up for him, but it is
I'm sticking
practice.
up for him.
Well, I know you are, but I'm saying, look, it's practice. You don't know what he was working on during those times. He could have been working on certain adjustments. Plus, when you play a defense, cornerbacks always aren't out on an island, so he may have been working on footsteps.
He could have been on zone,
Yeah, it's disingenuous.
Exactly.
Cover
and
two.
He seems a nice kid. I just hate those little Barbie microphones that they make people hold now.
Yeah, I mean,
silly looking.
Or if you hate Barbie microphones, that's great, but I don't know what this dude was thinking.
He wore the
Jaden
Barbie.
Smith.
He wore the Barbie house on his head.
Now, who's
the
I
dollhouse?
hate to sound pop culturally wee-totted, but who's Jaden Smith?
Will Smith and Jada's son.
Jada Pinkett Smith's son.
All right, so see, he's not that big of a star where I wouldn't maybe everybody knows who this is.
He's not a star, is he?
He's pretty recognizable, I think.
He was in a couple movies with his dad back in the day.
Was he in Karate Kid?
Yes, you're right. He was in Karate Kid. Oh, that was horrible. He did horrible in the Karate Kid.
All right, well, here's Will and Jada Smith's kid showing up at the Grammys. Now, I don't get it. You're wearing a castle on top of your head, like.
Well, you're not a fashionista, Bubba. I mean, this is
you're right.
this is fashion.
I mean, I'm in a t-shirt and shorts and an RV in Ocala, Florida. So yes, you're right. I'm furthest from the red carpet anywhere in America. I'm close to a Lucas Super Dirt late model series race, though. But that being said, what's Jaden trying to like? Seth, maybe you know more about Taylor Swift and pop culturally. What's cool? You have a 7-year-old daughter, so you have to keep up on what's cool. What is this, buddy? Can you help me?
This is just celebrities that are into fashion that have to out-fashion one another, I mean, Jaden Smith probably is trending today. He's probably going to be one of the most talked about people coming out of the Grammys just because he wore a stupid castle, on his head. I don't think that's something that he would wear out, if he was going to Arby's or if he was going to see one of his dad's movies. I'm not so sure, but when you're going to be around a bunch of other celebrities that are basically creative because they're all artists, I think some of them would appreciate that.
Oh my God! I mean, is that a castle head? Are you like what?
I don't know. I mean, it protects you if you get slapped, I guess.
First of all,
his dad's a slapper.
His suit and his shoes
Beautiful.
are impeccable. Like everything looks nice. Everything looks great. I can't see his hair, but it looks to be somewhat dreadlocked, maybe with some blonde highlights. That looks good. Why you got to put a cat like you're a good looking dude. You got some nice clothes and a black tie with a tuxedo ensemble kind of deal. Your cufflinks all, Dan, they're all symmetric. Like, the sleeves are, completely the same length so that both of your white little shirt gimmicks pop out. Your shoes look to be fashionable. Why you got Why you got to put a castle on top of your head?
Is there something out there as to his reasoning?
I mean, there can't be.
This new movie called The Castle or something? Like, I don't know.
It's just fashion. It's the same thing as when Kanye West's wife goes out and she's naked, and
No, it's not.
They call it fashion.
That's hot.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't think Jaden Smith identifies as any sex, so I mean that could be that could be hotter.
He doesn't.
He's pansexual or non-sexual.
I don't think he identifies as a male or a woman.
Really?
Yeah,
He's a castle.
It's not like the new the clips that you guys sent me of the Democratic Party that are trying to elect Democratic officials to run the party. And did you guys see that? Well, you guys did because you guys sent me the interview of the guy. Did you see where they want to? Like, just the Democrats are scrambling.
One thing I can count on.
Oh, so by the way,
I don't know where this is coming from.
I was reading up a little bit about his little castle on his head. It looks like he might have been doing it because I guess his sister's house was burned down in the LA fires, and it's all talking about all the houses that were burned in the LA fires.
Oh, boy. Just bringing awareness to all the black and charred houses.
I guess so. That's what
he should just put cigarette ashes in his head.
What happened to just wearing like a little button or a little ribbon or something? What happened to that?
Yeah.
A little red ribbon.
Oh. So, Lummy, did you see the Democrats?
Yes, about the people that they had to get for the vice president.
The quota.
Yeah, the quota.
The quota, like the Democrats are reeling from getting their asses kicked, and the reason why they got their asses kicked is because Democrats are weird.
Mm-hmm.
They really put a lot of onus and stock into stuff that most Americans can't, grasp around. All this pansexual and transgender and all this stuff. And listen, if that's your gig, that's fine. But I don't think it really needs to be your main message that you're trying to send as a political party. And I think the Democrats have kind of gotten a little bit off their path of liberals being one thing, weird's another. They're just flat out weird now. And I think that the Democratic Party has moved so far left that the average Democrat can't identify with them.
Yeah, but they're not wearing dollhouses on their head.
Right. The average Democrat doesn't want, your son to be able to tuck his penis, put lipstick on, and be a girl for girls softball so that she can dominate. And I don't think the average Democrat wants that. I don't. I think they want, to be able to get abortions and maybe regulate guns a little bit. That's the Democratic stuff. Not, lipstick and track meets. So, Lummy, you sent me some footage, and I think Seth did as well, with regards to the Democratic Party. Is they were, I guess, up, and then that one guy who survived the what was it, the Parkland? Wasn't he a survivor of the Parkland shooting deal?
He was a student at the time, but at the school,
and he's really now trying to be. What's his name?
I think David Hoggs is his name.
Yeah, David Hogg. Yeah. And he's really trying to be a big-time mover and shaker now in the Democratic Party. And he's all about, having no guns.
Oh, he's a big gun. Yeah, take
no
our guns. Yeah.
No guns. None. Zero. That, and I found the OnlyFans story, and then there's some more P. Diddy news. He had to go to the hospital last night. P. Diddy did.
Yeah, he did.
We'll get to all that and more when we return from the Bubba Radio Network.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
He sent the story to the FAA guy. Kind of broke it down.
Which one? The Pennsylvania one or the DC one?
DC, but it was the guy that Biden was trying to put as the FAA leader. He couldn't answer any questions.
Huh. Oh, the FAA leader, the black guy?
He got voted down.
He got voted down? They didn't confirm him?
Thank you.
They should have. You did horribly. How could you lead the FAA and not have even a basic understanding?
If you haven't heard, Tubi will be streaming the Super Bowl for free. Get ready for the game and register now.
Is there anything
Cretan.
Chloe, I'm going to the bathroom real quick in case something happens with the board.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you, sir.
What's up, creatine? Big Loner. Iggy. Sunny Days. 843. Hog wasn't there when the school thing happened?
Supposedly he wasn't, yeah.
So how did he attach himself to it?
Well, he went to school there. He just wasn't at the shooting.
He was just out that day?
Yeah, I think he was out that day, or he left
So-
earlier or something.
So, but he becomes their spokesperson?
Well, all his friends, that lost their lives that day.
John Kostika. 843 operator. Len Longer. Long. Necker.
But he's a person that definitely wants to take your guns. He's the DNC vice chair now.
Really?
Yeah.
But they'd love to give you a title if you have them.
If what?
They'd love to give you a fucking title, don't they?
Well, he had to get voted in.
Huh?
They voted him in. So, I mean, they needed more younger generations, he said.
This isn't the Pulse, this is the Parkland.
Parkland shooter. Yeah, because he's only like, what?
30? 28?
He's a little younger. Yeah, he was born in 23, so he's 24.
He's vice chair of the DNC?
Yep.
They're fools. They stop picking people because of what they are and start picking people because they're educated, smart, and special. They do better.
Whoa!
Cause I can't help falling in love. Guys, we need some more pictures.
He tried to start a looks like,
Political Action Committee?
well, he already did that. He tried to start a new company called Good Pillow to compete against My Pillow.
Failed.
Yeah. Known for gun control advocacy and boycotted the Ingram angle. That is Wikipedia.
He boycotted the Ingram angle?
Yeah. Organizations never again march for our lives, the leaders we deserve.
Sounds like a real fun guy. Drives a Toyota Prius that he won't clean because it doesn't want to waste water.
Let the natural, yeah,
Let God clean it.
pretty much.
What's up, dog?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Welcome to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. I'm live from Ocala Speedway. Practice tonight for the Lucas Super Late Models, and the festivities for that starts tomorrow. Lucas Late Models and the Mod Lights Tuesday and Wednesday here at Ocala Speedway. $7,000 to win for the Lucas Lates. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Lucas Late Models run all by themselves with no support class. 10,000, 15,000, and then 25,000 to win on Saturday night. If you're in the area and you've never seen these 900 horsepower NASCAR-looking full-bodied race cars, I think you'll get I think if you're a race car enthusiast, it's unlike anything that you have ever seen like it. If you're a NASCAR guy or an asphalt guy, it's not follow the leader and boring type stuff. It's pretty volatile. It's pretty impressive. And so if you got a chance to catch it in person, do so. And if not, I think you can go to flowracing.com. And I don't know if you can buy a one-off or you have to buy a subscription for that. But do that if you can. And
I think they got a
it.
limited amount of free stuff, but most of the good stuff is behind the paywall. But speaking of follow the leader, did you get a chance to watch any of the Clash stuff over the weekend?
No, I did not. And from the historical Bowman Gray, literally, this is an old high school running track, Dan, what's a regular track? 400
meters, 440 yards.
Yeah, 440 yards. I think that's what Bowman Gray kind of is, like an old high school track. And it's legendary. It's been around since, God, I don't even know when. And NASCAR they've been searching around for the last, excuse me, I don't know how many years to have something to open the season off with other than being at Daytona for the twin Busch clashes is what have not. And I don't know how many years they tried to do it at the LA Memorial Coliseum. That was with mixed reviews. So they even made it smaller and brought it back to really where some of the roots of racing started. And the Bowman Gray studio, I think it's just right out, it's somewhere in North Carolina, I think. And Rhett, did you get a chance to see any highlights from it? It's on the surface. Is it on the surface exciting to know that NASCAR would come back to really one of the very first roots of racing? I didn't get a chance to see any footage.
Everybody's got their own opinion on it nowadays, but I mean, I can appreciate the fact that, yeah, they're taking time to promote these events at these old tracks that are now getting some love. I didn't love it at the Coliseum, but if you're going to do a race on a small track like that, I think it makes more sense for the sport to do it at these historical tracks. So that part's always cool. As far as racing goes, I watched a little bit of it last night. I was watching some bootleg streams. It was actually hilarious. YouTube, there were 7 different streams of guys with their cell phones propped up, pointed at the TV, and they had thousands of people watching. So I watched a few of it. I watched some of it that way.
Was it on Fox?
Yeah, it was on Fox Sports, I believe.
Okay.
Looks like it's from the old football stadium.
Yeah, it's an old football stadium. So literally the football stadium, was in the middle, and then they had an old time, track and field track around the outer perimeter of the football stadiums, as the Coliseum did and what have you. But I think this is smaller than the Coliseum, obviously.
Yeah, Saturday they ran the wheeling race, and I watched most of that, the modified. And I feel like that was just, I don't know, that was more fun, I thought, than watching the cup cars go around in circles.
Did the cup cars get in any, at Bowman Gray, man, tempers flare, people spin each other out. It's very volatile in order to get into, and you have to really just root to get a pass. Really not a lot of passing on the outside. You just got to root a guy, which usually means got to put a bumper on the guy, which means usually you might spin out the guy. Was there a lot of that, or was it a little more gentlemanly because it's the highest sanctioning, body of motorsports, or one of them, I should say?
Yeah, you could tell for the most part, guys were trying to be courteous and be clean, but you definitely had some bump in. And there was one point, I can't remember who drives the 58 car, but he launched up in the air. He hit something on the ground, and he jumped in midair before taking the car off of the track. That was a highlight for sure.
I'll go on the next break and look for some highlights. And play them. Lummy, shame on you for not getting me some Bowman Gray Bowman Gray NASCAR.
Sorry.
There you go, Lummy.
Yeah, that didn't hit my radar.
I did get this from you. I don't understand. Are we as a country that hated, and is the rest of the world that liberal that you have? I mean, I know you don't like our president if you live in Canada or wherever, Mexico, or I don't know. Does people in France hate us this much? Do people?
If we put a tariff
England?
on their ass, I mean, it's 25%. They're not. I mean, they're not happy about that. If I know how tariffs work correctly, that's going to cut back on the amount of people that will buy those products. And I saw something that it could double Canada's unemployment.
Oh, well, they went to play, as they do here, when a U.S. team is playing a Canadian-based team, then traditionally they'll do the I think, is it the Canadian national anthem first, and then the Star Spangled
It depends on
Banner?
where it is. If it's in Florida, they'll do Canada, then U.S. If it's in Canada, they'll do U.S. then Canada. They do the
So I think
the winner
the
gets
hosting country plays the visitor first.
Yes.
And then plays the hometown Willie second.
Can you smell the high karate all the way in Ocala?
No, I can't. But welcome, Jay. Somebody's got the pot his microphone up.
It's open. It's up.
I'm up.
All right, there we go.
Yep,
Hi, Jay. How are you, my friend?
I am excellent. How are you?
Great. How was your week? I think you were in Costa surfing last week.
Yes, I was.
How was it?
It was good. I've been there one time in 6 months, which is way too little to check on a house that you
Now,
own.
how much? Yeah, like I was saying, how much time? Is there some times where you want to get a lot more surfing in, but you got Dan have to check on the house type deals?
Well, we had hurricanes too here, so I kept them here.
Yeah,
I know.
But yeah, the answer to the question is yes.
How much time are you housing, and how much time are you surfing?
I'm surfing the entire time. I'm checking on the house when I get there and when I leave. So if there's a little punch list stuff that needs to do, an air conditioner's broken, the gate's not working, in 6 months, a lot can go wrong in a foreign country.
Sure. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I usually like to try to get down there every 3 months to check on the house. It's important to make sure it's done correctly and maintained correctly. So everything was good.
Yep. But nice. You have been there so long that you've established yourself with the locals as the ultimate American, if you will, and they all look. I mean, for lack of a better term, I know you got a couple guys that you pay a little bit to take care of it, but they all kind of look out for you, don't they?
I have built some tremendous friendships there, yes, Bubba, and it happened for years. But when COVID happened and it shut down there, Pitty and I took care of probably a half a dozen people that got $150 from the government, and we put them on like a stipend for about 6 months to help them get through because they had no jobs. So
Seth and I want to know if we can get on that stipend.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I mean, that's pretty nice. I mean, that's a big deal when someone doesn't have any cash.
Shadow Panda, $20.
Well,
thank you,
Seth. I didn't do it for any reason other than I felt tremendously guilty watching people here get a lot of money, and we were shut down, but everything was fine, and they have nothing. So it was one of those things where, charity starts at home and you give where you can and you really like to see what you give. The people have been so kind and generous to me ever since then. And it was awesome before, but it really didn't go unnoticed, Seth.
Dan, how often do you?
Awesome.
I never really hear you going to Costa that much. Do you go there very much, Dan?
I haven't been that much, no.
He used to go all the time, and life just got up with him. But when I came back, I literally texted him from the airport, and I said, we need to have a mandatory Diaco Law board meeting. You need to get there for 4 days, put your phone away, unplug.
Yep.
There's something incredibly recharging about it. I check my house and all, but I'm also refreshed. I've probably gained 5 pounds. I've exercised for 6 days straight.
Dan's lost 15. He had ordered biscuits and gravy this morning.
Right. I mean, he's and the truth is, and this is just his reality, is he's where I am, where you have children in high school, you have children in middle school. He's got 4 jobs. He's got a wife. 4. He's got a lot of things to do, and so it's very difficult.
He's fighting insurance companies.
Yep.
He's
he's dealing with personal home stuff that he never complains about. He's not a complainer, but his life has been very stressful for the last couple of years. He's had zero chance to do any of this, and so I'm going to make it a mandatory board meeting.
You'll make it, and then he's going to tell Steve, and then Steve's going to make you do it. Dan, that's how it works.
Most night, Danny will happily do it. It's just he hasn't had time. We have to make the time and schedule it right and make sure that he gets a chance to get there because he needs it.
Back to my original deal, and this is the Toronto Raptors. Who are they playing? Obviously a U.S. team. I don't know who they are playing, but the Toronto Raptors facility in Toronto, plays the visiting team's national anthem, which is the Star Spangled Banner. And here's what Canada thinks about us.
8-year-old Kyra Daniel.
I mean,
that poor girl.
That's pathetic. And anytime a visiting country comes to America and we play their national anthem, not a single person boos their national anthem. They don't do it in Formula One. They don't do it in the Olympics. They don't do it in any kind of international competition. They don't do it in soccer. This is pathetic. This is irritating, and this is shameful. The people in Canada should be ashamed of themselves. They used to be known for being polite and clean and good citizens, and now they're just a bunch of misfit scumbags. F you, Canada.
Gary, did you get that? That needs to be a reel immediately.
Do you think this poor girl thought they were booing her at all? Do you think she forgot about it?
No, because if you hold on, because if you see it, Seth, they applaud her,
right?
Because she's Canadian. So if you look at it, they don't really start the booing until she's singing. So that they kind of like.
Oh, but you would have thought they were booing you. There's no way you would have been like, Tariff City right here. You'd be like, oh my God, they hate me. They saw the tape.
They pop for her though. They pop for her because she's probably a Canadian citizen. So you can really tell, and they don't pick up the booing until here. Let me play it again. Watch.
8-year-old Kyra Daniel.
8.
Yeah, you're right.
See, so she gets a pop.
You're right,
because she's a fellow Canadian. I think she's I think they said 18-year-old or something like 18, that. So they know they're dealing with one of their own 18 years. So they pop on her. They're like, yeah, that's our girl, but we don't have to. Don't misconstrue our dislike for the song with you, because I think it's very evident they pop for her.
Because we won't buy their lumber for unfair taxes and tariffs, and we're $200 billion annually in a deficit with them, and they're going to boo us.
Well, I mean, one of the big things too is he just asked for help on control of the fentanyl that's pouring.
I mean,
through
it's not really,
Canada.
and he gave them over a month to do it. Tighten up your borders and take care of fentanyl, Mexico and China, and Canada, and China. Be fair with your trade. These things he's been projecting them for months. He talked about doing it on the campaign trail, and so I find it very disrespectful, Danny. I agree with you. That's
by the way,
upsetting.
if you thought that was bad, don't watch any NHL games that are in Canada where they're playing an American team, because the hockey crowd. Oh, the hockey crowds are 3 times as loud with the boos right now.
Oh, listen, they're just jealous though, because the Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup in 20, 30 years.
I know they invented hockey. They don't know how to play it anymore.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Seth's right though. Like, there's a certain amount of that. I mean, there's a certain amount of they hate our country, but they're also very frustrated in the fact that they haven't won the Canadian team hasn't won the cup in I don't know how long.
They've been waiting for these tariffs forever so they could find their aggression out.
That's right. I think it's the Toronto Maple Leafs won it back in the 90s. The last time.
Yeah, and we've ran the table since.
That's right.
Now, do we? Honestly, Bubba, now what's going to happen? Are we going to start booing the Canadian? Because it's not.
No, they're going to come across the border, mounted on their white horses with their swords, and try to invade us. And it's a really scary army. The Mounties are going to come in with their really weird pants, where they're baggy at the top and tight at the bottom, and they're going to swing their swords. And I'm sure they got little helmets. They have little tassels on them too, because they're fancy. And they're going to come over here and get their asses whooped. And then it's going to be the 51st state.
Dan's got it all figured out.
Oh yeah,
he's hated Canada for a while too. You don't think
Canada?
Do you think that we boo "Oh Canada"?
No, because we have respect. It's called being a citizen of the world.
The Flyers, though. Let's not put up. We still got Philadelphia Flyers.
Different.
Philly's different.
We still everything in America. We give respect. Every country does. It's very unusual for a visiting team's anthem to be booed. It's disgusting. We're not at war. It's a game, guys. It's a freaking game. And by the way, if it wasn't for America, Canada would have been overrun about 5 times already in the last 100 years. You're welcome, Canada.
That's right.
Ungrateful bastards.
The Democrats are scrambling around,
keep trading pelts,
trying to find new leadership within the party. And it's my understanding now. Is this a more of a local?
No, this is national. This is a DNC.
So this is the National Democratic Party.
Yes.
This isn't like
Probably
the
their Canada
Minneapolis.
lovers.
This isn't the Minneapolis division. This isn't the California division of Democrats. This is the DNC of the entire 50 states.
Yes.
Now, is this real or is this like a Saturday Night Live spoof?
This is real.
This is real.
This is real.
Yes.
This is
D
real.
circle is real.
Yes.
Yes. This is not a Saturday Night Live spoof. This is real. And, I know some really good Democrats. I mean, John Morgan.
Yep.
Elise Kushner. I just know some really, really good.
It's like saying I got some black friends. You stop it too.
Don't forget Babyface.
Half my family's liberal.
Yeah, hold on. Here's the deal: is I could go on, but most Democrats don't want to be identified because they're so ashamed of their party and they don't feel the way that this bozo is going to. I mean, this is not their feelings. So your mom, John Morgan, and a bunch of other people Babyface, they're like, this isn't our party. This isn't what we stand for.
A lot of people are learning to cosplay as MAGA, Bubba, because they are afraid to admit that they are liberal. You are correct about that.
I am
So they cosplay as Republicans?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, they do.
That's amazing.
For real. But it's not. It's because they're not going to leave their party, but their party's left them.
Now that,
for real, this is not what good Democrats want. This right.
Bubba, you're hitting something that's absolutely correct because that's what you used to be pretty much traditionally, I would say a little right, sometimes center left, but Bill Maher, Joe Rogan, all these people that were traditional Democrats can no longer be traditional Democrats for the exact reason you're talking about. John Morgan.
One of the largest Democratic supporters financially is no longer a Democrat. He has registered himself as an independent. We're talking about a guy. We're talking about a guy. Yes, we're talking about a guy that when Barack Obama came to Orlando, he stayed at John Morgan's house.
Right.
We're talking about when Bill Clinton came to Orlando, he stayed at John Morgan's place. He can get Bill Clinton on the phone, as he showed me, on a moment's notice.
You little rascal.
You little rascal. So here is. I don't know if this is the head of the Democratic Party.
It was the former chair, Jamie Harrison.
The one who just lost the election.
Jamie Harrison, he lost the election, and this is his opinion of what the Democratic Party needs.
Well, sorry, real quick. He interrupted the election going on to tell people that they were looking at how they were voting and saying they needed more of.
All right, so he interrupted the voting process to try to put this disclaimer in, moving forward with who you vote for, this is what we need, right?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules. To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week, but I hope you will see that in practice it is simple and transparent. The order of balloting is designed to ensure equal access to the ballot, regardless of gender identity. As we must elect a candidate of any gender as well as one male and one female vice chair, we will first ask members to elect a candidate of any gender on the first ballot. Any candidate, male, female, and non-binary, can be elected on that ballot. After a candidate is elected on the first ballot, we'll have one officer of the three. So then we will know which position is filled of the one male, one female, and one vice chair of any gender.
Glad he clarified that.
Our second,
And you wonder, and they're saying that DEI didn't affect the hiring at the Aviation Authority.
So,
I mean, this is when you have stupid ass rules like
Can't
this.
you see a guy like John Morgan grabbing a microphone going, "Hi, everybody. How about we just put in the best qualified people, regardless of what they are, instead of putting all these rules in here as to what she is and what you." I'm like, I mean, God,
dude, even this guy's confused.
Yeah, hold on.
He doesn't believe it. He can barely read it.
Hold on now.
Be for a candidate of any gender. Then our third ballot will be the third position that is remaining based on the two results. Either a male candidate if a candidate that is not male has not been elected, or a female candidate if a female has not been elected.
So let me just say, this is weird.
Equity. It's equity. It's saying like we guarantee that there's going to be at least one female and at least one male on this,
and one non-binary.
That doesn't guarantee the non-binary.
No, it just says that the non-binary counts as either.
Right.
I think what they're saying, right?
Right.
Is what they're saying.
If I'm throwing my hat in the ring, if I'm non-binary and I'm going up against a group of other people, I've got a better shot because there are fewer non-binary people. That's the whole point of what this is not merit-based at all. That's the equivalent. That's the opposite of merit-based.
This is shoved down your throat based is what it is. We're going to have a male, we're going to have a female, and then the third one can be whatever you want it to be, male, female, or non-binary. And why don't we just go with who's the most qualified and who we want to vote for, regardless of what they are, including non-binary? I mean, I don't think Republicans would say we got to have a male, a female, and a non-binary female and or male.
No,
I don't think you need to remind people that. Now, let me I don't know what this is. If this is just an excerpt of what we just listened to or not, but I think it might be different.
No, it's different. It's just out like it's
blow your mind.
Outgoing DNC chair, Jamie.
What's really important in terms of learnings from 2024 and how they impact rural communities, that's, we had to compete everywhere. We have to go everywhere. We have to make sure we are talking to people wherever they are. And that means that we have to redouble our efforts. I'm proud of what the DNC did in terms of going into rural communities in a 24 cycle, but we got to do even more of that in order to have the impact that we know is necessary. I mean, when you think about where, yes, the Democrats lost on the top of the ticket, but we were extremely successful on the down ballot in areas with rural communities. I think about North Carolina.
I thought this was much shorter. I'm not even going to go through this nonsense. This is just absolutely, utterly ridiculous. And this right here, this guy here, as they are investigating the black boxes and things from the American Airlines helicopter crash, this guy gives some pretty good insight.
So, Shannon, the mission of DOT and FAA is safety. That has been the historic mission of this agency. And over the last 4 years, when they're having a conversation in the last administration about changing names from cockpit to flight deck or notice to airmen to notice to air mission because it's too gender specific, they're focused on social justice and in the environment, racist roads.
I mean, when the administration that runs the FAA and the DOT want to change, their big, hot button is we don't want to call the area where the pilots fly the plane anymore the cockpit, which is what it's always been called since probably the invention of aviation. Probably I don't know if the Wright brothers called it the cockpit or not, but that's just what it is. And they want to call it the flight deck because they feel that cockpit is too, I don't know, too
aggressively male or something?
Too aggressively male and triggering, if you will. and an airman can no longer be called. They have to be called an air person.
I mean,
even though it
Bubba,
might be a man.
would you really be upset? I mean, not to appease women or anything like that, but if they decided they'd change the name of cockpit just because they didn't like it, would you be really that upset?
If it had nothing to do with the cock, yes.
Okay.
I would be upset if we're worried about that. And we got planes that are crashing because we're understaffed because we have had a DEI initiative on hiring, and we told 1,000 qualified people that they are 1,000 white qualified people that passed air traffic controller tests that they're non-hireable based on being white.
That is the problem, Bubba. You nailed it. That is the single problem. Period.
So let's not worry about the cockpit. Yes, change it to flight deck.
Who cares?
No problem.
Who
I don't
cares?
care. Change airman to air person. I don't
cares?
care. But also hire those 1,000 people that are qualified to be in the tower, so that we have 30 people in the Potomac, in the Reagan International Airport Tower instead of 19, because we got 1,000 people that passed the tests, and the only thing that they're guilty of is being white.
Because what they did is just like he just did, just like that African American did in that little discussion about the vote. What they did is, like, if we don't have this many of these categories of people in this class, then we can't have any more white people.
But it wasn't just white and black, Dan. They were also talking about mentally disabled.
That's fringe. That's fringe. That's fringe, Jay.
No,
that's fringe. I think this.
Fringe nothing, Dan. You're making it's not always about white and black. Because by the way, I was watching something on YouTube with the Cartier family.
No, it's not white and black. You're right.
Do you know how much DA? No, it's Cartier is the way they call it, Dan. They're not French. And so they talk about this. And do you know how much DEI is for black people? Less than 10%. So every time everyone's pissing off, getting pissed off about it, it is. It's about
They wanted to put
females,
deaf and blind
transgenders.
people.
It's about all of that. They wanted
to put deaf and blind people and air traffic controllers.
Right, with missing limbs and psychiatric disorders.
Right.
It's absolutely insane.
But the 1,000 people that passed the test, regardless of what they were white.
Yep, and I heard this is from a black commentator, not me saying it, who went through all the statistical data because he's so frustrated by it being simplified to black and white. DEI is not about black and white. Black people, they get the fewest benefit from DEI policies, less than 10. White people get 40%.
White people with no legs get 80%.
That's right. Binary,
white
not
people
white.
that are white people that are amputees, dwarf with a gay kicker, you're hired.
So, by the way, the word cockpit,
I'm blind too.
The word cockpit looks like it's derived from an old English term, which they used to call small boats.
Coxswains.
And because like the old airplanes were like little boats, they just pretty much
cockpit.
Has
nothing to do with a man's penis.
No.
In EVs, they've lost sight of the mission of this department. And so we have no place for anything other than the best and the brightest. And so when you look at what went wrong, you got to look at
the best and the brightest. We see no color. We see no gender. We want the best and the brightest in that tower navigating, these airplanes in some very dangerous and tight spaces, the best and the brightest, not the dwarfs, the blind, or the deaf.
Did you see Bubba? And I don't know if this is true or not, but I guess in the tower, somebody went home early that day. So somebody was doing the job of maybe two people, and then that could have been something as well.
Yep.
When you look at
it was already understaffed. And then you add someone going home early, then that increases the understaffing. And the pilot of the helicopter was female too, right?
Yes,
supposedly
with 1,000 hours experience, and she wasn't transgender or transitioning or anything like that.
1,000 hours?
1,000 hours is nothing.
Is that a lot?
That's when I was a lawyer. I built
a lot.
No, listen. As a lawyer, I built 2,000 hours in a year. Okay, that's 200 hours a month is 2,400 hours. So we're talking 6 months. It's not a lot of hours. It's not a lot of hours.
Airplane hours are
people that you
different.
have in place at the DOT and the FAA.
Listen, this crash happened twofold. One, because the air traffic controllers did not specify what aircraft the helicopter had in sight. When they had a visual confirmation and they go, we have them in sight, the air traffic controller should have said, the plane departing or the one that's 300 feet from you that's getting ready to land. The helicopter pilots were looking at the plane that was departing, not the plane that was coming in. That's what happened. This
Right.
is an air traffic controller. This is an air traffic controller situation.
It's both.
I mean, with a little bit of helicopter,
Well,
but mostly air traffic controller because they did not confirm which aircraft the pilot had in sight.
Leadership and the direction that leadership gives them, and it's been misplaced over the last 4 years. We're back on mission. We're focused on safety and having the best people delivering that safety. And I don't care your race, your religion, your sex, your sexual preference. That doesn't matter. Just the best and the brightest. So
The best and the
Shannon,
brightest.
the mission of DOT and FAA is safety. That is.
Well, when I return, speaking about, this is.
This guy can't get a break.
Jay, you need to start an office in Minneapolis and just say, did you ever get arrested by Derek Chauvin?
I know.
Call me. 'Cause even if he wrote you a traffic ticket, man, Minneapolis is settling at an alarming rate. Paid $600,000 to a I don't know if it was an African American woman or not, but a woman who claimed that he roughed her up on a traffic violation. In the city of Minneapolis paid her $600,000. Yeah, from Derek Chauvin. I think he's a piece of crap. I really do. And I think he's probably where he needs to be. But I mean, there's also nobody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to stick their head in the sand as to. And listen, optically, with his knee on the back of George Floyd's neck is bad police work, bad optics. But I, honest to God, think that had they put George Floyd in the back of the squad car and taken him to jail, that what was in his body, and I've seen reports, I don't think it's conspiracy, where the doctor who did the medical examiner who did the autopsy was asked to change the cause of death.
Oh, she's a big white woman with a nice shaved head. Yeah. Got arrested for drunk driving.
Big white girl, get arrested by Derek Chauvin. There's money there too, buddy. I'll just tell you, we got both. We'll come back with that story and more on the Bubba Radio Network.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Police department. We're paying out. Big reparations. Yeah, we're paying out. Morning, everybody. Xerxes, Big Lunger, Chip Jones, Mark Jones, More coleslaw. What's up, Ray Jennings?
Knowing that you lie.
Ed's Rusty Chain.
Straight face.
What up, Big Lunger?
While I cry.
Napa Mike. Double XL. How you guys doing?
How do I talk back to Bubba?
Hey, Thomas Gilson.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yes.
Tim Albrecht. Good morning. Cretin Travis.
Did you
Jay
need me,
from Nova.
Bubba?
What's up?
What's that, buddy?
Oh, did you need me?
Oh, no.
Okay.
J Law
What's the
Bronco. What's
break
up?
number? 5? Or we were showing 5?
We were showing
Jeff
5.
Fan.
Okay, perfect. All right, now I'm good. I'm good, bud.
Gene's awesome. He's a hilarious dude. What's up, Steve? It was good. Haas. Good morning. Grouper Lips. Nick. Sunny Days. Jesse. CC Hall. Internet Fred. How's everybody doing? What's up, Haas?
I brought some.
Alexander Morales.
Okay, I'll bring them
What up,
back.
Biggie?
But if you want
How
some,
you doing? D. Tim. England. Good morning. Good Lum.
come on, Greg.
You know, buddy. Stacy Aylan, how you doing? Glenn Longnecker, good to see you too, buddy.
You can meet those standards.
Almost divorced lawyer, what's up, bud? Glenn Longnecker, Soupy John. I give you a double dose, Glenn. Great White. God, I gotta go soon again. Put on 5 pounds and cut back in shape in 6 days.
You gonna start your camping again here in a minute?
Morning, Bulldog Tommy.
Soupy John, what up? Pitbull, what's that?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I'm live from Ocala, and the boys are back in the studio, and it sounds pretty damn good and doesn't look that bad as well. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, and what's the last? And the last one, Lummy.
Instagram?
No, that we're live on.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, and Twitch. Twitch. Yeah, you can all watch us visually on those, all at the Bubba Army. The city of Minneapolis has agreed to pay $600,000 to settle a lawsuit by a woman who alleged that ex-officer now in federal prison. I think it's federal prison because I think they have him in Texas somewhere. So if this was this a federal charge, Jay, more than a state? Because maybe his civil rights. Because I know they got him I know that he's housed in Texas. So if this was a state crime, I don't think that they can ship you out of Minnesota. But if it's a federal crime, they can put you wherever.
Well, it looks like this is the city of Minneapolis as far as this one. I think the last one was too.
No, I'm talking
the
about where
original one was city. It was state.
Talking about when he was for what he did to George Floyd.
Yeah, it wasn't federal.
Well, then why is he in Texas? Because that's where he's being
Did they do
housed
civil
right
rights?
now.
I don't know. I've looked it up real quick. Let me find out. But this one definitely is state.
Yeah. Anyway, this woman claimed that he hauled her, he pinned her to the ground with his knee in January 2020, just like he did 4 months later when he killed George Floyd. Patty Day, formerly employed by the Public Works Department, claimed in a lawsuit filed in May that she was the victim of excessive force and wrongful arrest. She does acknowledge that she was drunk on the evening of January 17th, 2020, and depressed over her impeding divorce and other difficulties when she got stuck in the snow for several hours. Chauvin and his partner that night, Officer Ellen Jensen, all right, so a female, eventually arrived on the scene. The lawsuit alleged the officers violently yanked Day from her vehicle, threw her to the pavement, causing several injuries. Now, here's the deal. If they didn't have video of this, then how would they be able to prove this? Wouldn't this be a he said deal? Or would the other arresting officer, Ellen, maybe be there trying to cover her ass, and like they maybe relied on testimony from the other female cop that was his partner? Because if they didn't have body cam footage, how would they be able to prove this?
They wouldn't.
Or can you
That's
just
why body cam footage has really been super helpful in changing of all the abuses that these things do go on. But they go on a lot less frequently now that there are body cams, because that is the eye in the sky and that keeps officers honest.
Chauvin then, this woman's claiming, assumed his signature pose, pressing his knee into the subdued and handcuffed Patty's back, just as he would later do to snuff out the life of George Floyd. And remaining that way well after Patty was controlled. The complaint alleged the drunk driving charge was later dropped after a judge ruled that the officers lacked probable cause to arrest her and suppressed the blood alcohol test evidence. The city of Minneapolis unanimously approved a $600,000 settlement, for $175 going to her, and her attorney is getting $425.
I'm confused.
I don't understand that.
It says she left to go pick up her kid at a daycare, realized she was too drunk, pulled to the side, turned her car off, and fell asleep. And then later came up with I got stuck in a snowbank. And I guess, according to police, she became like just combative. And then her defense was she was not being combative.
This is rewarding bad behavior sometimes.
Well, the city and the city is. I didn't know this. The city now. Listen to this amount. The city has now paid over $36 million to settle police misconduct cases involving Chauvin, including $27 million to the Floyd family. So that means outside of the Floyd family, they've given away settled another $9 million in Derek Chauvin related cases. Now, wouldn't that just basically lead to anybody that got arrested by Derek Chauvin? Come on down, man, because they're giving away free money.
Yep.
Free money. And while no settlement can undo what Patty endured, we are grateful to have reached a settlement that holds officers accountable for their actions, said Day's attorney. This case is yet another example of the critical need for justice and reform in policing. Chauvin, who is white, remains incarcerated at a federal prison in Texas for the conviction in state court of murdering Floyd and federal conviction for violating his civil rights.
Yeah, I just looked it up. You got 22 and a half years. You were absolutely right.
Wow. And then now they're just writing checks for anybody that, and you know what, Derek Chauvin could have or may not have done this to this woman. But in reading this report, it doesn't sound like there was any body cam footage or anything like that. And as Lummy went and looked at the story, I don't think that I think it was just her. Maybe the female police officer was the key star witness. And at that point, does she just flip on Chauvin just to cover her ass?
What would you do?
Well, let me see. If I could save my job and my reputation by just blaming it all on Chauvin, who is now going to be in federal prison for 22 years, and I'll be retired by the time he gets out, or I could possibly lose my job. And I think I'm going to say Chauvin's a piece of shiz, and he did it all.
Ding, 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 ding.
You know what? I was there that night. I was the female co-officer, if you will. And yeah, he yoked her up, threw her down to the ground, put his knee in there, like his standard move, did his standard George Floyd type move.
I told him to stop.
And according to
I told him to stop. Derek, stop, man. She's a poor girl's in the snowbank.
So it looks like the police report from Jensen, who is Chauvin's partner at the time, they just ordered Day out of the van, and she said that Chauvin showed no use of force in the incident report that was filed.
All right. So if you got a sworn police officer who's female, by the way, and Chauvin, and then a woman who acknowledged that she was drunk and, obviously was drunk. And she's the only one saying that Chauvin did his George Floyd knee in the back move. And your other police officer says that she didn't. They're just writing checks for $600,000 to make this go away. What, Jay, are they afraid to get this in front of a jury and the jury, automatically sees that it's a Derek Chauvin deal and just makes this $600,000, $6 million all of a sudden? That's probably what the city attorneys are thinking, right?
It's a very liberal city and county commission, and it has to be approved by all of them, and this is their way of feeling they're doing the right thing. It's an overswing of the pendulum. So anyone that's been arrested by Derek Chauvin that's alleging anything that's been done, did anyone say she was injured in any of this? Or is this just that she had her? I mean, so now we're paying $600. I'm an injury lawyer. Someone came to me like this. What's your injury? Did he hurt Filioma?
Yeah.
So I don't see where the injury is. I don't get this. It just seems like it's another Minneapolis, Minnesota craziness going over there in those really, really ultra progressive states.
It looks like she should be happy that she got out of a 0.25. She had triple the legal limit of her DUI.
We should believe her word.
Got that thrown out.
I wonder, Jay, I wonder if locally, how like Morgan & Morgan, they got all kinds of advertising page, and they're like, dog bite, call pound law. That's all, I wonder if they got local, attorneys up there, guys like you that are saying, hey, we're ever arrested by Derek Chauvin, call, Diaco Law.
100%. And there's
I
actually,
bet you they do.
And they're tracking people online. Anyone who looks up Derek Chauvin arrest, Derek Chauvin injuries, they're 100%. Those people are getting targeted now with solicitations from various law firms. If you even look those words up.
Or they go into the public file of Minneapolis Police Department and basically look at all the arrests that Derek Chauvin ever made.
100%.
And they reach out to those people. Say, hey, man, I saw that you got arrested by Derek Chauvin in, March of 2020. You were stuck in a snowdrift because you were DUI 3 times the legal limit. Man, they threw that. I mean, they'll throw all that out and we can get paid. Some old girl, some fat white girl just got $600,000 on the deal.
That's
right.
right.
$175 for you and $425 to my firm.
So it's it's all public record when people have been arrested, who arrested them, and so we've all seen those letters we get 31 days after a ticket that come into our mailbox. So every state has some sort of a solicitation law which allows after a certain amount of days for people to directly solicit people who've been injured, people who have been arrested.
Like the lawyers are allowed to do that.
Yep.
I mean, that's part of, the legal way of legal solicitation, the way lawyers can operate with regards to advertising.
And it's
lawyers
scummy and I don't do
it. I know you don't, but it is legal.
100%.
It is legal, but it is scummy. And I got to tell you, man, I don't know anybody that's ever been in a legal situation that waited for that scummy lawyer to send you a letter and go, you know what? Oh my God. This letter is from a guy that specializes in DUIs and he can get me out. Usually the person that has gotten in trouble knows somebody that had a DUI taken care of and they told you to call Kevin Hazlett damn Jay, probably over half of your cases are from, like for instance, Kim the boxer. It's just, organic people that have already dealt with your firm before, referring their friends to you based on how good of a situation or how well you handled them. I mean, that's probably what half of your business is. Just
more
people
now.
That are existing clients that had a good situation with you.
Yeah, more is former clients or referrals from former clients or referrals from friends who just know us as reputable, honest, and ethical lawyers. You're 100% correct.
OnlyFans porn star. Hotel balcony threesome in Brazil took a tragic turn when she plunged to her death. Now, this doesn't get into the particulars, but I guess they're investigating the 2 dudes that were pulling a train on this chick.
Yes.
And her boyfriend, I guess, might have been the cameraman.
Yes.
It was on the balcony, and I can just see where, if you're railing it. I mean, we've probably all at one time. It's probably a fantasy of all of ours to have sex with your significant other or a chick that you used to date or a group, whatever, on the railing on a high balcony. I mean,
not with another dude.
I'll be not with another dude, but just with a girl.
A cameraman.
I'll be the first one.
Exactly.
Let's not talk about taping and cameramen, but let's just talk about railing a chick on a balcony. Or a dude for that matter, whatever you're into. Railing somebody on a high balcony. I'll be the first to raise my hand and say, check, I've done that. Lummy, you wanna step up? Am I gonna be hung out to dry here?
Oh no, yeah, back in the day, of course. I wouldn't say high, but yeah.
On a balcony.
Yeah.
Right, with their hands on the railing.
They used to call him Lummy Balcony Garrison.
That's right.
Lummy Balky Garrison.
Oh yeah.
Seth, have you ever had any balcony, sexual interactions?
No.
Back on the, you never got a 97X Fisher and Boy groupie that wanted to take you, to the Rocky Point Marriott and you do your balcony move?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that there were. They just never got in touch with me about it. So,
okay.
Yeah, I never. I don't. I get a little freaked out at heights. So I don't bang outside.
Are you the kind of guy that, like, when you get a high room with a balcony, you go to right at the edge and you just kind of look over and then you take it, like, you don't lean against the balcony or nothing?
Oh, yeah, I don't trust any railings or anything like that. I mean,
well, neither do I. I mean, I don't trust railings per se. I'm not putting all 300 pounds of my ass against the balcony, but I will, at least grab it with my hands and look over. I'm not necessarily that afraid of balconies.
I don't think
I have blasted a chick on a balcony before.
I don't think I would let myself get blasted on a balcony. I feel like that's too dangerous.
No, I'm asking you to get blasted, but have you ever blasted a girl on a balcony?
I'm just telling you, it's dangerous for whoever's getting blasted, man, woman, whatever.
Yeah,
that rail. You're relying on that rail
yes,
a lot.
And you're pressing up against it. I'm assuming too. Well, that brute force those Brazilian men were giving her.
Well, yeah. Brazilian authorities are digging into the details of her death as two male scene partners are telling totally different stories about what went down. So they went down there and they separated them.
Did they realize it was being filmed?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, why don't the one of the cops just get the footage? That would just show you what you need, right?
Wow.
The co-stars.
It looks like they were finishing up.
Oh, well, they were finishing up.
Yeah, they were finished, and then it happened. Supposedly.
That's
the co-stars. Weird. The co-stars, who are also OnlyFans performers, were released after questioning, but I can't even attempt to pronunciate her name. Baxada Fumisna.
Oh no, that's the city, the homicide unit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought that was her.
No.
Okay, yeah. So the Brazilian city homicide unit hasn't ruled out foul play just as of yet. Cops are checking out the hotel surveillance, grilling the staff, and digging through on his phone as they piece together what really happened. The autopsy results aren't out yet, but it's still unclear if she had drugs in her system. I really don't know if drugs in your system matter when you fall from the 10th floor.
Wait,
right?
they're saying her boyfriend wasn't part of it, too.
It looks like her boyfriend wasn't at that time of the scene.
Oh, she was 27, and her boyfriend, Pedro, who wasn't part of the incident, took to social media heartbroken and hoping the investigators get to the bottom of what happened. So she probably just told him maybe she was going to like the Brazilian Walmart or something, but really she was going to get railed on a balcony.
No, he knew.
I don't know if Pedro would have approved of that.
He knew the whole incident, and he said that she was trying to grow her social media, and this is like her step to do that. So he was all behind it, and but he wasn't there during the scene.
Ana Alves. I wonder if her OnlyFans now will go through the roof.
Who gets
and
that
I
money?
wonder if the cops if you filmed it and you had the footage and it truly wasn't anything that what was on film caused the incident, wouldn't that be unbelievable? Like, wouldn't you could really market that? And really blow up her OnlyFans, just say, the footage right before she fell to her death.
Last known filming, for sure.
Or the footage before her death. Because maybe she slipped or something.
Yeah, but who gets the money if like her OnlyFans does blow up?
Her estate.
Her Pedro,
her estate,
her boyfriend.
Probably her husband.
Well, she's
Yeah, but like
she's
it-
a husband.
She's not married.
That's not marriage. It's her boyfriend. So it goes to her estate. So maybe her parents or whoever, you know,
Yeah, but hold on. How many 27-year-olds actually have any estate planning involved? Or, Jay, does that just go to like next of kin automatically?
Well, in Florida, if you have a will, it goes according to the will. In Florida, if you don't have a will, it's called intestacy, and then it goes to, if you're married, your surviving wife. If you don't have a wife, your children. If you don't have children, it goes to your parents. If you don't have parents, it goes to your siblings. If you don't have siblings, it goes to your cousins. Can you believe I believe all that? I remember all that still. So that's the way it works.
Been through it.
Well, it's a common sense thing. So basically,
where's your boyfriend? Does your boyfriend rate in that
No.
timeline or no?
Nope. Well, I
Pedro
don't know
ain't
Brazilian laws, but I assume no.
What if Pedro was the one managed? Because a lot of boyfriends do run their girlfriend's OnlyFans. So so maybe they had, maybe it goes to his bank account or their joint bank account.
Yeah, well, if they have a business relationship, then yeah, that's fine.
And all you need is that footage. All you need is that footage if that footage indeed is not illegal or what caused the crime. Like they said, it happened when they were finishing up. Well, that makes me think that maybe she just kind of fell off. It wasn't, she didn't fall off getting hammered. She just fell off maybe when she was cleaning up or something. I don't know.
You just fall off a balcony?
Sounds weird to me.
I don't know. Maybe she was like on a stool or something cleaning off and she just fell off. I don't know.
Oh, you got lots of.
You're really trying to
Maybe.
exonerate these guys, Bubba.
Yeah. I want to see the footage. Bad. When we return, P. Diddy got taken to the hospital last night from prison, but then within hours returned. And it's my understanding, Lummy, that he was just complaining of a sore knee.
Yeah, his knee was sore.
Hold on now, Jay. They don't let sore. If you are in a no bond, didn't he even offer $50 million bond package? I think it was reported that he offered a $50 million bond package. If you're that locked down, they're going to take you out of the prison and to the local hospital to get an MRI on your knee.
My knee
Don't you
hurts.
tell that guy, man, put some ice on it, P.
Yep.
Put some ice on. We're not transporting you probably the highest retained, most locked down guy in our Brooklyn, Manhattan, Midtown prison. Remember that was the one that I think he's being housed in the same one that Epstein's was in.
Oh.
I think that's where he's being housed.
I think it's
at.
Rikers Island.
No, I don't think
I thought
so.
he said the
think
same
it's
place with Luigi.
That's exactly right. I don't know what the name of the prison is, but he is where Luigi Mangione is.
And I think that's where Epstein was. I think that's where
I thought
they
they destroyed that building.
No, hell no. I don't think so. Let me look. We'll get into this next, okay?
Okay.
We'll get into this next on the Bubba Radio Network when we return.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Oh, 6ix9ine was whoever the fuck that is. R. Kelly was there. R. Kelly's been there.
Yeah, so the one Jeffrey Epstein was in was closed in 2021. It was deemed unsafe for inmates due to its crumbling infrastructure and security issues. And so now they're where you said, was it called? You see DCC?
MDC.
MDC, yeah. That's
Well,
where
John Rule's been at that prison.
Metropolitan.
Al Sharpton.
How about that? Woo!
Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
That's where all the big criminals go.
Austin Wolf. Oh, Luigi's there.
I'm sure it's not a fun place to be.
So it's Luigi's who's there.
Right.
Oh. Oh. Ray, that's Jay. Not Dan. said your watch looks badass.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ray. You ever watch Cardio Brothers?
Who?
The Cardio Brothers on YouTube. Like 3 or 4 black guys that will do reaction videos of all political stuff like that. They got interesting takes on things. They just got press passes, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were at the inauguration. They're, they don't have 20 million people, but I think they probably have a couple million subscribers and young African American guys that have become somewhat conservative, just watching things interesting. I learned something from him yesterday. I had no idea. He did the data on the DEI and was trying to figure out what categories were benefited the most. White females the most. 40% of all the funds go to white females.
Interesting.
I think all the people teaching the classes are white women.
Jeez.
They're good, right, Shane? I mean, I can't watch all of anybody, but I can definitely watch the first 10 or 15 minutes of them. I think they got some interesting things to say, and I like their spin on things.
What's her name?
Cartier, like Cartier, Cartier, Cartier family, Cartier family. They started doing, music reaction videos, millions of views, and so they've just gotten to the point where they do probably 2 or 3 drops a day on political stuff. I like them more than the Hodge twins because it's less Hodge twin, more news.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Well, this chair's got some good recline to it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it goes so far back you could almost do like an ab crunch.
Do some core in the middle of the program?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like there is body cam from that big chick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Crunches while my stomach's growling. Oh yeah.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army. I'd like to see a little something. I mean, I feel as if maybe the people feel the show is not as good with me being remote, which is all indications by the level of contributions. So it's been a very slow day.
No, I think it's just a Monday.
Maybe you think it's just a Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worn out over the weekend. Jay, when did you return back from Costa Rica? Were you here this weekend? Do you try to get back to give yourself a weekend to recoup before you got to get back into the alcohol rat race?
Yeah, I got back Saturday night, so I had a day yesterday to unwind.
And what's an unwinding Sunday to Jay Diaco?
Get up, have some coffee with my wife, hang out, have some nice conversation. Then went ran a few errands, went over, saw Steven, went and saw Dan, took my daughter to lunch, came back, hung out with my son. I mean, I literally just hung around the house
Look
and
at you.
did family stuff.
Johnny Family Guy. Look at you, my friend. So anyway, Jay Diaco in for a little bit as he does on Monday and Tuesdays with his brother Dan. Seth, of course, here. Lummy, of course, I don't think we're going to be doing... Are you guys going to do an uncensored show without me?
Oh, we weren't sure if you were going to join us. We were hoping.
No, I can't. I have to get out there into the rat race of the of the Lucas Oil late model series. So, would you guys be able to do one without me? You think?
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
yeah, we could get one.
Yeah, totally.
Up.
Yeah, I can plan one.
Okay, good. So count me out for today and tomorrow. And I'm gonna try to get back in the studio no later than Thursday, maybe Wednesday. It all depends on how things go up here. But I do feel comfortable from here, but not quite as comfortable as the studio. But at least this shows that we can, I'll be doing probably in the next 2 weeks more shows from here than there.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I thought you were here when I first got here. That's how I mean, honestly, because I didn't hear the whole show about you were there, and so I wasn't really watching it. So I was just listening to it on the radio. And when I was listening to it, it sounded like you were in the studio. And so when I swear to God. And so when I walked in, I looked over and I hear Seth, but I don't see him. And I'm wondering, is he on some remote microphone? So I go down and I sit in my normal seat, and it took me to the first bathroom break to realize that you were in a different city. So I can't notice the timing delay. Sometimes remote's really terrible. I don't think it's bad.
Not in this instance. The guy's got this thing dialed in audibly and even visually as well. Seth, you look good in my chair. I like you in my chair.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
You look uncomfortable as hell, kind of stoved up, if you will. But I think you looks good. I think you look good. Do you like sitting there?
I like the chair. It's a nice chair. It reclines fully. I was really experiencing that. Your area leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's your area. So
now, hold on, my area. What do you mean by that? What does that mean? All my little Scotch keys and stuff I got around there.
I'm just saying. I'm looking at your hydrogen water thing. I got a bottle of Manscaped. I got a spare microphone. I got your handgun right here. We've got some WD-40, your megaphone. A silverback gorilla, a cup of pens. I mean, you got it all up here.
What else does a man need besides a handgun, some WD-40, some moisturizer, some hydrogen water gimmicks?
No, it's
everything
great.
right there at my fingertips. I can shoot an intruder.
I'm going to tell my grandkids about this moment one day.
Thank you.
What's in the fridge?
Oh yeah, he doesn't let me. He said I can't open that.
Yeah, that's kind of my world. Stay out of the fridge. Sean P. Diddy Combs who is awaiting sex trafficking charges trial behind. Boy, it's federal, so we're not going to get any footage. All we're going to do is get artist renderings like this.
Yeah, that's a real nice picture too.
And look at, man, this artist isn't doing P. Diddy any favors.
Look at the chick behind with the glasses on.
Yeah,
Rock and roll.
Who's that?
Mary J. Blige.
Who's that?
I don't know.
You're right.
No.
But look at him. He looks like he's all shrunken in and almost like buck-toothed. They almost got him buck-toothed there. And I know he's not. I know P. Diddy. He may have lost some weight and he may be shrunken in, but he didn't buck his teeth out by going to prison. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that his lawyers might have told him to if he wanted to get out, to fake knee pain, because maybe there's no way the jail can tell if there's something wrong with your knee at all? I mean, I don't feel like he had actual knee pain at all.
He's had a lot of problems with his knee since he ran the New York Marathon.
But here's the deal, man. I don't think. By the way, so a law enforcement. By the way. Was taken from the Brooklyn prison to a nearby hospital late Thursday night. Law enforcement sources told the Post that the embattled music mogul, age 55, was transported from the. Let me look this up, but I think this is where
MDC. It's not where MC was. It's where Luigi's at, the insurance guy.
Oh, so it's where the Luigi guy.
Michael
is.
Cohen was there. Al Sharpton. Those are their famous people.
The Metropolitan Detention Center. She was transported from there to the Brooklyn Hospital around 10 o'clock. An insider exclusively tells Page 6 that the transport was made after dark in order to be inconspicuous, as they did not want any attention from inmates and or prison staffers. Multiple sources confirmed to the Post that Combs went to get an MRI, which is a non-invasive medical imaging procedure that tests detailed images and almost every internal structure in your human body, including organs, bones, muscles, and vessels. We're all familiar with MRIs. We've all had them. And the big, high spot wasn't, I got, heart palpitations, or I have problems breathing, or stuff that, you could actually die from. I don't think any judge is going to grant you a medical release out of prison because you got a swelled up knee, right?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know what I don't know if if he has real knee issues, if something happens, if then all of a sudden he's got a lawsuit against the city or the jail or whatever it is.
I don't think that normal prisoner number 4545 is going to be able to be taken to the hospital, get an MRI because you got a little bit of knee pain. My knee hurts. I don't think so. I think it's like, this is very unusual. In my experience with people that I've known who've been in jail, clients, you don't just, there's medical malpractice cases where people are bleeding out and die because they don't get the MRI they need. It's not typically my knee hurts.
We were told
rushed out for a... Go ahead.
Combs did not stay overnight at the hospital and was back to his cell within a few hours. Sounds like a big nothing burger to me.
Right.
And a separate source speculated to the Post that the musician had been involved in a prison fight or had some other medical emergency, and that's been now denied. That was not the case. A Bureau of Prison spokesperson, meanwhile, told the Post, for privacy, safety, and security reasons, do not comment on conditions of confinement of anybody in custody to include medical status or medical trips.
But like you said, we've all had them before. So think of like an MRI. Have you ever heard of an emergency MRI in the middle of the night? Even when your knee's exploding and killing you in pain, they're like, yeah, you can get a couple weeks.
Especially if you're the most, if you're like the most secretly watched or like the most imprisoned person in this facility, to the point where you've been denied you've offered the court a $50 million bond package, and they still won't let you go. You think they're going to let you go with a sore knee?
No. Emergency MRIs are like head CTs of the head. We have a history of falling on your head or a car accident.
Or if he had if he had like cancer and he had to go to do like, chemotherapy or radiation treatments or something like that was pre-existing, or they just diagnosed him as having, stage 2 pancreatic cancer. I could see maybe something like that, maybe.
Well, maybe. You do remember that the end of last year, the rapper went to the hospital with a nervous breakdown from being homesick during the holiday season. So they took him to the hospital for his stress and his breakdown. They said that
to me, it sounds like they're just throwing. But to me, man, if he has good counsel, they're like, listen, we have to concoct something better than I got a sore knee, right?
Well, they're saying
the judge already said no to us on the $50 million bond. You think old boy's got a swelled knee? He's going to do anything? Come on now. What else?
Some people are saying that this is leading up to what they're saying is that with him having the mental breakdowns, it's causing health issues, and it may just be starting with his knee and lead to other health issues that he's going to have.
If I'm the judge and be like, listen, you know what? When you got something more than a hurt glioma, and you got like something that's very much life-threatening where he needs to be outside getting chemotherapy or radiation or an emergency appendectomy or, something like that, then I can potentially let him get that procedure, and he will be at that point detained in the hospital.
Does the judge decide that, or is that something like the warden decide if he can go? Like how high does that decision go?
It should be done by the medical team within the prison, and I would say ultimately if it's something where someone has to go outside of the prison for a test, I bet you the warden knows about it. I don't think the medical team is just releasing people outside of prison without the head honcho knowing.
I wonder if like, I think they're probably trying to say, hey, listen, we can get him out of out of the federal detention center or the state detention center, and at least get him in the hospital, which is, I know he's going to be handcuffed to the side of his bed, but that's better than being in this, in this cell treated like, because I got to think that jail is not really cool at all. That just laying in a hospital bed, but at least you'd be a little more free. Maybe you'd have access to a laptop or something like that. And I just think that they're grasping at straws. Now, if they legitimately had a legitimate medical emergency, then yeah, I think that they potentially could maybe put him in the hospital, but not with hurt glioma, please.
No, I had a law partner when I was a first-year, second-year lawyer, and he was maybe a 10 or 15-year lawyer, and he defended correction facilities for alleged malpractice, and a lot of them were bull. It was just complete BS. It was like, oh, you know, my tooth hurt and I had tooth decay. Okay, you got 4 teeth left in your head. Or, you know, I was in a prison brawl and I hurt my knee and they didn't give me treatment fast enough. Okay, well, you were going to need the same surgery anyway and you were in pain for 12 hours.
Do you know who his cellmate is, Bubba? Sean Puffy Combs? Sam Bankman-Fried.
What? Oh, no, the
crypto dude?
Yeah.
The crypto dude? That's P.
They're
Diddy's.
investing.
Yeah.
That's P. Diddy's. And he's got. Did he go to trial or is he still being held? Has he been to trial yet?
Yeah, he's sentenced to 25 years in prison, but he asked to stay at MDC
for 25 years.
Yes, but they're working on an appeal right now. But yeah, that's P. Diddy's cellmate, so I could probably see why Diddy probably wanted to get out of there.
He was a young guy, wasn't? Is he a young guy?
Yeah, he's a young little nerdy guy.
What did he do?
Remember he embellished. He had Tom Brady and
he was okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the guy that had he had all
the
Tom
celebrities
Brady
and
I think Brady invested. I think he did.
Brady, Steph Curry.
Yeah, he had all those guys, and he's now. His trial's already been he's done, right?
He's done. Yeah, he got sentenced.
Well, I mean,
to 25
he's obviously putting an appeal in there, but he got sentenced to 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually on long sentences like that, Jay, they don't usually keep you in the local lockup. They go ahead and put you a little bit in a bigger place, don't they?
They requested for him to stay there while the appeal
maybe during his
happened.
appeal.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was the FTX cryptocurrency exchange where he stole all the money and then financed a bunch of Democratic candidates, and it was a big problem.
Big whodunit.
For sure.
This was from last week, and talk about. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to call this DEI, but I guess Hollywood's unlikely action hero is now the next big action hero, supposedly, in the next action movie, the next Bruce Willis, the next Rock, the next, Harrison Ford, the next whatever, is a guy with Down syndrome.
Oh, sweet.
And he's the next action hero, I guess. I mean, I think that's what we need. I think our next action hero needs to be a guy with Down syndrome.
Let's go. Race Everhart is saving the day. In Straight Undercover, he plays a government agent who exposes corrupt forces trying to put a small-town farmer out of business.
I go undercover, baby. Inside.
Who are your
Is this a joke?
No, this is real. The only thing is, I just want to know, is it a major studio or is this like a indie one-off? It didn't look to me, Seth. It didn't look very majorly produced, right? On the clip they gave us.
Unless I saw a lot of unknown actors just in the clips, but maybe that's just the clips. I mean, maybe Brad Pitt's hiding. But I imagine it's probably. I mean, I imagine it's probably not a real high budget thing. I hope that they're not mocking him or using him to bring publicity to what would otherwise be a lackluster film.
Favorite action stars?
Chuck Norris, Tom Cruise, and James Bond, and me. We're straight. It's our new hero with all these great movies.
Now, I will tell you, this is the Today Show, which is a very, very above board and well recognized, very reputable morning, network morning news.
Yes.
This isn't this is like a very reputable. One of the big 3 networks morning show, the Today Show.
Yeah, it looks like
so.
it's,
I mean, they're obviously taking this guy seriously.
It looks like it's coming from an independent comedy.
37-year-old Race was born and raised in Rochester, New York.
Creative is the productive.
What's that?
It's called Fish and Crown. Creative is the production company.
Fish and Crown Creative.
In local theater since he was 10 years old, in productions of Beauty and the Beast and Mary Poppins. But he's always dreamed of seeing himself on the big screen.
Did you ever imagine being an action star in a movie?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Race met director Ben Gagne while shooting a TV pilot. And right away, Ben knew Race was a leading man. He wrote Straight Undercover for Race to star in.
I'm in government agent. Gonna do something.
He has that it factor that when I see him on camera, I want to see more.
The goal was.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say, man. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Good for this little guy with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Good for him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we probably should play it. Good for him.
He's living his dream. I mean, that you got to be happy for anybody that's doing that outside of terrorists.
It's incredible, but I wonder how the results are for his team of people within the government investigative teams versus other teams. You know what I'm saying? Like in this is going to be the new investigative body of the government.
Right.
Like
I want this guy to come start interviewing me. I'll be able to bamboozle this guy all day.
I think, first of all, it's beautiful. First Down syndrome guy to be a leading actor, amazing. Is it good casting? It's terrible. Who wants to see that movie? It's not believable. Let's just talk about what's believable. Put him in a role that's believable. Make him a leading man in another movie. It's awesome. But a leading man in a movie about investigative techniques, and I mean, come on. It's. I feel like that is exploitation. Seth. I feel like that's not really realistic.
Yeah, I mean, you're not trying to exploit the guy, but you are. Is. Would the movie have gotten a major slot on the Today Show as an interview had it been just regular able-bodied people? It's so probably crappily written and produced.
I sent you the
probably
trailer.
They would. Oh, okay. You know what? We'll do that. I don't know if my IM's working.
I can email it to you real quick.
Yeah, just
like think of the Breaking Bad kid. He's an incredible actor. It wasn't that he was saving the world. He was an incredible actor playing a kid who had a disability. And so I just don't get that. I just don't get the casting. Maybe he's a wonderful actor. I support it 100%. I just don't think that's very believable.
If I Google it, what if I just Google it? What can I put in and it'll show me? I
Straight Undercover, STRAIT.
Straight Undercover trailer?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right.
We'll do that when we return and wrap up the show on the Bubba Radio Network after these words.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
You gotta go down.
Right there, one more.
Yeah, right there.
Right, yeah.
Oh, because I think he found it on YouTube, or AOL.
Oh, okay.
We're agents of the United States Department of Agriculture.
That's it.
75,000 views in 7 months.
25,000 this morning.
That has 117 subscribers.
Man.
117?
117, Jerry.
Not the K.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll lead to something serious for this kid, for this guy, you know?
Yeah. He could have a serious role. I totally support that.
What was that TV show back in the day? Corky, right?
Yeah.
Corky.
I mean, he seems to be a good actor. Certainly.
Man, how do people finance this shit, man? You got to be so rich to just give your money away like that.
No doubt.
There's so many shit, but I mean, how many people don't get their money back on movies?
95%.
Like
probably.
90, yes.
Well, don't you go to like
it was Corky, Steve, you're right.
Fun, like what's that site called?
IMDb?
No, like GoFundMe. Is it not GoFundMe?
There is a GoFundMe for movies. I forget what it's called. Let me see if I can find it.
But buymeacoffee.com or something?
I said that's
Patreon?
Patreon?
Fund your film.
Yeah, there you
Crowdfunding.
Go. Crowdfunding.
Oh, that's it.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, crowdfunding, that kind of thing.
That was one of the first ways to panhandle on the internet. I didn't understand that you would like invest in somebody's product and then you'd be like the first to get the product if it ever came out or something.
Uh-huh.
There's a whole bunch of
Yeah, you get into like ownership.
Right.
Of the film, especially if it takes off, then you're kind of.
This guy might take off, but that movie ain't taking off. Anyway.
No, that's exactly right. He's probably going to get other opportunities, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but come on, man. Tom Cruise? That's what he said. You know, the next action hero, I just think it's a hard one.
I mean, Tom Cruise is what, like 5'2" as an action star?
That's true.
I mean, he's already broke the mold. He's no Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Lummy, what the hell, man? We got to do a show.
I know. Did you see my answer quickly?
Yeah. I appreciate you letting me take that one.
Yeah, I mean, because like you said, we're all gonna have to come together, figure out what we're gonna.
We'll take care of it. Just let's start it at like 10. Can we do like 10:40?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll do like half an hour or something. We don't have to make it crazy.
No. Everyone would be happy with that. Do you want me to look up the top 10 worst invested movies of all time?
No, you don't have to.
I've already got a better role for him. He should play himself. The struggles, the trials and tribulations of a special needs guy trying to become an actor, a dramatic series. It would be an Academy. This guy could win an Academy Award for that type of role.
Why don't we should put Brandon the Quad up for a role in some movies.
I'm sure there's some roles that would work.
Exactly. Him rolling in with his little cobra hand.
Oh, man.
His struggles of becoming an Iowa DJ at bar mitzvahs and weddings.
I don't know that he's got the same acting chops as this other guy.
What?
This other guy has got some. I mean, he is a pretty good actor.
So is Brandon the Quad.
I haven't seen his work. Not a member. No, I refuse to.
He'll take your breath away. Yes, Creeds and Travis. BTQ is a porn star, so.
What is? Oh, that's true.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Before we say goodbye here momentarily, the Bubba After Uncensored show, less the Bubba portion, will be later today. You guys looking what? Seth goes out for his little walk.
Well, 10:40.
10:40 action?
Yeah, we'll be on right at 10:40.
Perfect. Lummy, Seth, Rhett, whoever wants to step up and contribute to that. And the Macho Man. Is the Macho Man okay?
I haven't seen him in 3.5 hours.
I think he's been very stressed.
Did he quit? I hope not.
Oh no, he's still sitting back there. I brought him some pretzel sticks. We're good.
You did?
Yeah, that made everything better. I think he gave me a small thumbs up.
Lummy's the executive producer and also like kind of the
you say the house mom.
The house. He's the house. We're all strippers, and he's the house mom as well. Let me thank you. I went and found this is the Straight Undercover official trailer. This movie, Straight Undercover, which was highlighted on the Today Show last week, is going to have the very first action figure, action star actor, if you will, that has Down syndrome. And here's probably one of the most brilliant trailers you'll ever see in an action movie ever.
We're agents of the United States Department of Agriculture. Not like secret agents. You're trying to play James Bond when your power's in the plants, little man.
Did you forget the reason you got into this work?
Soil samples, water runoffs, cattle contracts. This is what we do, Grace.
I could do more if I had more skills.
You know, that's Big Malone egg right over there. Who knows what they're putting in the water?
So they're trying to poison Bruce's land.
Now, you're barking up the wrong tree. They're too big for you anyway, little guy.
Look, you're gonna go over there, sticking your nose into things. You're gonna get us both in trouble.
I am not afraid. You two are afraid. I'm a government agent. Gonna do something. I go undercover. Under inside.
He's going undercover, Lummy.
He's a government agent.
Oh, come on, you're crazy. Are you ready? There's developing a new product called the 1C.
We need help right now!
It's time to make them pay.
I mean, if there wasn't like 10 seconds left, I'd say make it stop.
You're gonna have to walk me through all of this. You are nuts, Reese. I love it.
Looks like it was produced by Nickelodeon. It looks like something you'd see from Henry Danger. Like the bad guys look like, oh, those are bad. That's terrible.
And talk about exploitation.
I mean, now, Seth, did they exploit a special needs person for their own personal gain, or is that like a great role for that guy?
I mean, I'm sure the writer director has a good heart, but I mean, he's definitely giving the movie way more buzz than it ever would have received if it was, I don't know, just I don't want to say
standard
normal kid, but you know, your average actor.
Your average actor's fair.
A horrible script combated with a less than normal, capable action star.
How about bad casting?
Yeah.
Bad role, bad casting.
And I mean, really, really exploitation, because that nobody would even think about, like, if that was just cast with some person able-bodied but normal, we wouldn't be playing it. It was horrible. Did you see the big green screen lettuce kind of deal? Like, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen.
It's in front of like a head of a cabbage, a head of cabbage.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
But it's such an accomplishment for him, you know, to record that movie and everything like that, for him wanting to be in a movie. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't, you know, I'm sure he doesn't know that it's, you know, on the lower end of, you know, some of the motion pictures that have been put out.
I wonder how much they're paying him. Like, I wonder what, you know, does he get a percentage? Is he getting a cut? Did they pay him $5 million? Like, I wonder what they got.
I hope it's not a points on the back end deal.
Me either. Oh. I don't think there's going to be a lot of back end. Unless there's that inquisitive factor where people's like, listen, man, I got to watch this just to see how bad. I got to watch this train wreck to see how bad it really is.
I mean, if that went on Netflix and they're promoting it, I think people would watch it for, you know, a little bit.
I think people would rally behind the guy a little bit. There comes a certain aspect of that, right?
I mean, damn it, people love Sharknado. I'm sure they can get behind, you know, whatever, the hidden Trapper Keeper, whatever this guy's movie is.
The only thing they should have done, they should have done a romantic comedy where they have two, a female and a male, and they're special agents, and they fall in love. What's better than a Down syndrome investigator? A Down syndrome love story.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
We need we need a Down syndrome. Now that's something I'm watching. Down syndrome find the hottest Down syndrome chick, throw her with, I guess, maybe this dude, and now we're cooking.
It looks like he might be getting some points on the backside, because it looks like he still has his normal job where he works as a payroll. He works in a payroll company.
What, maybe the mail guy that pushes the mail cart around? What's this guy doing payroll wise? Right?
Running the numbers.
They missed the boat by not making it. They missed the boat by not making it a romantic comedy. You know, that's where you get it, because you find a hot Down syndrome chick, and then him and her fall in love. That's far more believable than, you know, him beating people up and, you know, stuff like
believable. That. The thing is, is there a role for a guy like this in 2025? Absolutely. With the right role and the right writing and the right screenplay, a guy like this could have an absolute wonderful future. I mean, he's not a bad actor, But this role for that person is just not right. That would be like putting me in a role for some kind of super action hero. I'm a 55-year-old man with skinny little arms. I'm not the right guy.
Would you let him play you in your
your biopic?
Yeah. Would you be okay if they casted?
Be appropriate.
All right, let me. 10:40 for the uncensored after show. I'll probably be here from Ocala tomorrow as well. Tonight's practice, and then we start racing on Tuesday. Potentially, Lummy, I could be in the studio Wednesday, but definitely probably going to be Thursday. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, great.
Jay, I appreciate you, my friend.
You too, Bubba.
Seth, have a good one. Rhett, Lummy, Macho Man, appreciate you all. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
Rhett, the filthy ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host, Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire, of Council.
Co-host, J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello.